Okay. All right, just atheists. What is up? How's it going? Hey. Hello, Ember. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, I'm echoing.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Let me drop and come back.
Okay. Ragizi, happy hump day. And okay.
Okay, let me try this again. No,
What's happening?
I'm echoing.
You're echoing? Okay. So, let me change something here. Cuz
Thanks, RA.
No, it's not your fault. Cuz remember the yeah, we're fucking back to this again. Cuz see the hang on, let me try it. Let me change it. I won't say anything, I'll just change it. Okay, now you should stop echoing.
Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. Yep, we're good.
Okay. So, what happened was TikTok Studio reinstalled and it broke everything. I realized that yesterday.
Of course.
Yeah. So everything's broken. So I'm probably not going to take anybody on YouTube again until I have to go back through the settings and futz with it. It's just so frustrating because every time something happens, it just breaks. So I'm just going to get rid of this. So, okay. Oh, well, we still got people on TikTok. So we're good there. All right.
Yes, we do. I was just sharing it out. Everybody, if you could, please share out the live. Tap the screen. We want to get up to 5K likes pretty quickly, if we could, please. I would love to see those numbers go up. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. And we have Ace. How's it going? Good to see you. All Righteous Atheists. And yeah. So, welcome in, folks. Hope you're having a happy Wednesday. I certainly am. And Pseudo V Science, good to see you. Guten Tag. Yeah, sorry, Pseudo, we gotta shut down the Video Ninja side of things. So no YouTube callers today. I don't know if you heard me say it, but TikTok Studio had an update yesterday before I went live, and I didn't really pay attention. And I'm pretty sure that's what broke it. So it just did an automatic live. KJ, good to see you. Yeah, let's bring up KJ real quick. Let's see where KJ is on the journey. I can get my multi-guest screen up. Come on. There we go. Oh, nope. He dropped. Okay. But it's good to see you, KJ. Yeah. So, hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. What was the thing I was going to lead with today? Oh, yeah. The whole thing that about our military, our U.S. military. That is. I got to bring up the
Yeah.
article. Yeah, I'm going to bring
Oh
that up.
man. And I don't know if you watched the press briefing from
Mm-mm.
Caroline Levitt, but the creator Covey, she's streaming that right now, and it's really bad.
Is it?
It's just very, very violent language, very like warrior. We are no longer, and Pete Hegseth did a um, speech where he said, "We are no longer defenders, but we are warriors."
Oh boy, that
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, and apparently it's connected to the military, because he was in the army, and they're told to be warriors, but also defenders of like the Constitution and the
Mm-hmm.
country and all of that. And it was like very specific language that we are no longer defenders.
Jeez. Okay. Was that in
Yeah.
was that yeah, that was a politics channel, right? There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. So, was in the Independent. Commander claimed Trump was anointed by Jesus to cause Armageddon to justify Iran strikes. So, a military commander told a group of non-commissioned officers that President Donald Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran and cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth, according to a complaint filed with the Religious Freedom Watchdog. The anonymous complaint was provided to the Military Religious Freedom Foundation by one of the NCOs in attendance at the Monday briefing on behalf of 15 troops, 11 of whom were Christians, 1 Muslim, 1 Jewish, and 2 atheists, and was first reported by freelance journalist Jonathan Larson on his Substack. The NCO said of the commander, he urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. He added that the superior had a big grin on his face when he said all of this, which made his message seem even more crazy. So I think that's about as far as I can go with that. I can't really read anymore. That's it's a little bit distressing to me. Yeah.
It's very distressing. This
Mhm.
is something that, yeah, I was not personally scared
Yeah.
until this.
Yeah.
And the fact that I went to the same school where Jerry Jenkins is the director of the board of trustees, and it's his books that they're using.
Mm.
It's the friggin' Left Behind books. It's not even the Bible
Oh,
at
it's
this point.
those. It's the fanfic. The
Mm-hmm.
Left Behind fanfic.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Whoa.
that's totally what they're trying to bring about. It's not
Yeah.
even the biblical description of things.
Yeah, that's really distressing. Grandpa Pivot, it's good to see you. How you doing? Yeah, that is distressing, to say the least.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also very important for us all to know and to understand, because these kinds of things, this information is being suppressed in our media and in our system today. And we need to make sure that we are hearing these things and understanding what is actually going on, so that we can be prepared and we can protect our own and our communities.
Sure, absolutely. KJ, how you doing? It's good to see you.
What's up, Chris? I'm doing all right. How about you?
Doing pretty well considering the circumstances, but doing pretty well. So
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The
So
world is.
how's your journey coming? How you been?
Well, I don't know like what I classify as anymore.
It's okay.
I'm just like a dude floating in space, but definitely been a journey, you know. I think it definitely started since I was like 15 of like not really believing in at least any world religion, you know, just not knowing what to think or not really caring what I think either. So now I've kind of just, you know, been listening to a lot of different people on what they think, and yeah, it's interesting for sure. But I don't know what to call myself, but definitely not a follower of any religions or popular world beliefs.
Hey, I don't know is a good position to be in, man. I think if anything, I mean, my wife is there and she's starting to lean atheist, but she said, I think I am. So I don't think she's still 100% sure, but that's okay, man. I mean,
Yeah, all I know is what I definitely don't believe in.
yeah, it's probably,
You know?
I gotta say, it's a pretty honest spot to be in. And I think it's like, it's a pretty, it shows a lot of integrity also. If you're just like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, man. Yeah. Yeah. So,
It's definitely interesting, you know. It's
mhm.
hard to have conversations with people because I don't like really want to
They're
have
probably
these
short
arguments.
conversations, right?
It's just like I don't want to like bring anyone to, you know, question their faith or anything or stuff like that because
That's fair.
I don't know, it's not the most fun thing. But
Yeah.
I enjoy to argue and I don't like illogical things. So like when someone will tell me something, I just get frustrated because I don't want to argue, but at the same time,
That's fair.
it just doesn't make any sense. So I
That's
appreciate
fair.
stuff like the stuff you post and do, you know. It's like an
Thanks, man.
outlet for me to watch someone else, you know, say what I'm thinking.
Yeah, man. And when you first came on, I really appreciated how you were, you did present. I think you were leaning Christian back then. I think if I recall.
Yeah, probably more like creationist, you know.
Yeah, leaning that way. Yet you asking challenging questions, but you were also listening, and I
Yeah,
appreciated
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciated that because I think that being in that position is probably the best way to to get it to hear it from all sides, man. And who knows, maybe you'll end up being like like a nihilist Buddhist or something. Who knows? But
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility,
yeah, it's a
you
possibility.
know.
But I think all we can ask for is that you just hear it all out, and that seems to be
Yeah,
what you're doing. So
that's definitely I love listening to all kinds of different point of views and, you know, even niche kind of thoughts,
yeah,
stuff like that. It's really interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, while we're kind of on the subject, because I mean, I'm more or less in the same boat you are, um, except that I'm a little bit more like I've heard a lot more arguments, and I've like looked at all sides of the view, for
Right.
different arguments. I haven't heard everything there is to hear, but I have heard, I've like the ones I have heard and listened to, I've looked at all sides of it, right? Or most sides of it. So we're kind of in the same boat. I'm probably a little bit more um a little bit more like on the knowing side than you are, that there's a range to it. But what would it take, KJ, to convince you that Jesus is your personal savior?
Um, I don't know. Uh, like I don't
Honestly,
unless they can like create new evidence, you know,
create
of
new
his
evidence.
resurrection, you know.
Interesting.
If
Okay.
they found new evidence or you know something like that
Yeah, I
of
feel
like
that.
maybe a first-hand account of his resurrection or something a little less, you know, confusing or you know not as reliable as a lot of people are led to believe on his whole resurrection account. Because obviously, like the resurrection is like his main selling point, in
Yeah,
my
that's a good
opinion.
way to put
You
it.
know,
That's a good
that's
way to
like the
put it.
one thing that's like you know, if we had firsthand accounts and like a lot of like corroboration on his resurrection is like a thing that we can definitely know happened, I'd be like, okay, well, this is probably true. And
Yeah.
even then, I don't know if I would really worship God still.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying that
Yeah,
yesterday a lot.
I'm in that boat
Like,
as well.
yeah, there's some levels to this, right? I mean, believing's just the first part, and I said it to people yesterday. Okay, it's like, because they were giving me arguments for a God, right? And I said, okay,
Yeah.
well, that's one piece of it. Let's just say I accept that. All right, now what's your evidence that it's your God? And they're like, oh, well, that's another level. And then after that, it's now why should I worship this God? Yeah, you're
Exactly.
absolutely right.
If you ever get me to that level of convince, like that's the final step. I don't know how anyone could ever convince me to worship their God, especially for
Yeah,
the rest of eternity. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I'd rather my existence end.
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind
Like
of I'm kind of there
100%.
with you. Yeah.
That's where my fear of non-existence has gone down because I have a bigger fear of, existing forever.
Yeah, yeah.
Common.
The more you think on it, it doesn't seem too appealing, doesn't it?
No, forever is no, not for me.
Forever's a long time. Exactly.
Maybe a little longer. I'm sure everyone would like to live a little longer, but not forever.
Yeah, I don't think
Very
forever.
smart people.
Yeah, yeah. Because yeah,
But I'm definitely.
I think of myself at like the 50,000 year mark, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You're not even you anymore. You're someone completely different.
yeah, exactly. Like what? Yeah, what else is there to do? Like, what are you gonna do at that point?
Yeah, if I accept any like our universe was created kind of view, I don't think it was by anything perfect or anything with even good intentions,
Yeah.
to be honest.
It's hard to see it. It's hard to see it. And,
Oh, definitely.
yeah. And a lot of what I'm getting lately, I don't know if you've been like listening in the last several days, but a lot of what I've been getting is, well, it's because he's God. He can do whatever he wants. And
Oh, my, so terrible. How am I
yeah,
supposed to accept
yeah,
that?
that's hard to swallow, isn't it? Like,
I, I mean, if it's a god that's just so illogical. Like, if you're gonna create people with minds who can think like us, and we just accept stuff like that, it sounds so backwards to me.
it does. It just sounds totally bad. It just doesn't sit well. And the other part of it though, KJ, is that used to sit well with me.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just
Well, no way.
glad it doesn't, man. Well,
Yeah, I don't think he would create like who would ever create logical beings, and then like we just have to ignore logic to be saved.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It doesn't make
backwards.
sense, right? It doesn't make
It's
sense
very
at all.
backwards to
Yeah,
me. Yeah,
makes
that's
no
that's where I'm
sense.
at right now for sure.
Well, I'm glad you're here, man. Um, I'm gonna bring up some believers. Maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe you and I will get converted today. Who knows? You
I
never
will be
know.
listening in. I will be listening in.
Right on, brother. Hey, always a pleasure to see you, man. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And
Yes,
come up,
thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. Come
I'm
on back.
excited to. I'm excited for the stream.
Right on, brother. All right, we'll see you.
I good luck.
Yeah. So, KJ, yeah, I agree with you, Grandpa. I like that KJ fella. Yeah, he's pretty chill. And yeah, W for KJ. I agree. And you know what? I'm good with I don't know. I wish I heard that a lot more. Don't you agree, Amber? If we heard I don't know a lot more, it would be so less
I would
frustrating,
love
wouldn't it?
that
I
so
would love that.
much.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I currently have a kitten licking my head. I'm trying to.
Did you like spill a can of tuna fish on your head or
He's
something?
I'll take
like, yeah. Brian has to get him because he would just like, he would not stop.
Kind of
Look,
random, yeah.
I do like an exfoliation, but it was a little too much.
Yeah, it was a little bit too. I'd say that's probably a little too intense, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
But yeah, hearing I don't know, I think that's something that a lot of Christians don't, I just, most Christians, I would say, don't understand is that they think that atheists think, we have all the answers and that we're
mhm.
definitively saying that there is no God. But in reality, so many of us deconstructed from Christianity from when we thought we had all of the answers
Yeah, exactly.
to start saying, I don't know. And I may
Exactly.
never know. We may never know what was really before the Big Bang, and
Yeah.
that's okay. Like that's the thing. Saying I don't know is okay and even a good thing sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. And I'm good with that. And I think the big thing is I just get asked a lot of questions and then I start looking up stuff. That's just how I'm built. And so a lot of what I'm answering, like when people ask me questions here, I'm just repeating what I researched. And that's pretty much
Right.
it, right?
Exactly. It's not any like special knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It's just reading and understanding
Yeah,
and
exactly.
listening to experts, listening to other people in the field.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're a believer, um, yeah, if you're a Christian, a Muslim, or um, or Hebrew, yeah, come on up and talk to us. Because yeah, I mean, I'm open to being convinced, and I mean, mind you, I've heard a lot, but my mind's not completely closed. So come on up and let's talk about it. And and when you so like on the YouTube side, we see this comment says evolution is defeated. Well, that doesn't mean that God exists. Just because if you even if evolution wasn't the answer, that doesn't mean it's either that or God. It's not. That's not how it works. It just means evolution is not true. That's all it means. So it's not an either or. And I think that's the interesting thing about that too is there seems to only be binaries in a believer's head. Like it's either this or that, or it's this or not this.
Yes.
And we see that as like it could be a whole range of things.
Honestly, I think that's part of why we're seeing what we are seeing.
Yes.
Is because so many Christians think that it's either or, that it's everything is black and white, and it's only a duality instead of yeah. And now we're seeing it just powering through and pushing through everything.
Exactly. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole last night. Speaking of like the origin of the universe, quote unquote, and the Big Bang and all that. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole last night, and I went down this rabbit hole that talked about like how our reality is comprised of like different fields, like the Higgs field, quantum fields, gravity fields, all this stuff, right? And they interact with each other, and they're just everywhere. And that is, and it is the fields in which that's how particles like instantiate, like like they come into existence. And that's why like on the Higgs boson, the big collider, they're seeing like particles like pop in and out of existence in different spots and all this other stuff, because of the way the fields, like how they interact with, like how energy interacts with the fields, which is like just, to me, just totally fascinating. But it's like, wow, so just the fact that we're, when I hear stuff like science doesn't have the answer, actually they have done a lot of calculations that point to things, yet I think they're like in the most humble position when they say, yeah, we don't know 100%. We're pretty sure it's this, or we think it's this, because every experiment we've done points to this so far. I mean, it's about as intellectually honest as you can get. So.
Absolutely. Very.
And I'm with you, Uthor.
Very honest.
Yeah, quantum physics is a trip, man. Just like, it is, but it's so hard to understand. That's just the other part. So it's like I always have to find like an explain like I'm 5 version of it, so I can understand it better. And that that helps me, but it's just super fascinating. So yeah. So if there's anybody who wants to join up, yeah, how would you convince us that that our non-belief is not the way, that your God exists and we should worship this God? Let's see. Hey, I hit the accept button. I don't know why it didn't bring you up. Let's try it again. And let's talk about it. Yeah, quantum entanglement is fascinating. I agree. Totally agree. Hello?
Hello there.
How you doing?
It's a wild ride, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Things are getting it's getting better, but we have a long way to go. So I know my voice doesn't, I've been doing a lot of talking with the family and stuff. So it's been crazy. My dad had 2 surgeries, and he's off some of the medication, but he will have hopefully he'll be out of ICU today, and then they're
Okay.
moving him into a regular room. But we thought we were gonna lose him,
Mhm.
and it was the previous hospital that screwed up majorly, and they ended up med flighting him to another hospital.
Oh, wow. That's pretty early. Yeah.
Yeah. So things have kind of shifted. I'm not going to move to Arizona only for the fact that I have to be closer to my dad,
Mm-hmm.
being the POA and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gonna be hard, but I'm really so grateful for this community. I mean, everybody's come through with questions that I have that I don't even know. Like, you don't expect these things,
Yeah.
when it comes to your parents, and then you have to realize that you're going to be the one to take care of them when they get old.
Yeah.
And it's rough. And hi Ember, I miss you so much.
Hey, Reckless.
But yeah, and I miss you, Trust. I try to pop
Yeah.
in when I can, and and I try to pop in the Discord. Excuse me. Excuse me. I try to pop in the Discord when I can,
Mm-hmm.
but it really, that those 5 or 10 minutes that I'm in somebody's life, it does bring me comfort. That knows
Good.
that I have friends that are there for me, and I get messages in my inbox all the time asking how things are going.
Well, I'm happy. Yeah. And well, I'm happy that your dad looks like things are looking up. So I hope it continues to go that way for sure.
Yeah, and even though with all the things that, went on in my life, I've had to let that shit roll off my fucking shoulders, Trust.
Well, for sure. Yeah.
You just, there's so much, but then, you look at it and it's just like, you really don't have that much time. And if you can make that time into a positive situation and make it for the better, by the time that, when he does pass away, you'll remember that you end up making that time good
Mm-hmm.
with with all the bad things that happened in my life.
Yeah.
Because I was really pissed off when I got here. I was angry. But then, Kylie really helped me through this whole situation. Like, she said that with this, with the whole childhood trauma and all that shit, she said sometimes it's okay to start new memories and, and make it for the happier times. Excuse me. So you can remember those happier times and just forget about the old shit. But I still have to work through that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a long road. Like where
Yeah.
we talked to KJ a little earlier, it is definitely a long road, and it's going to look a little different for everybody. Some will have a much more fraught road than others. It'll be much more difficult. But I would say it's difficult in their own different way too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but I'm just glad that you got your support here. You definitely do. And, everybody who is deconstructing has their support in this community. Absolutely. Without a doubt.
And
Yeah.
the help that, I got that website set up, and I told my brother, because there's 3 of us. And so, we've had to kind of split the POA thing, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And, we had to get all the paper, and we're not out of the woods with that, because it's too medical and financial. And, because my dad's on so much medication, he doesn't know which end is up right now. And of course he's, swearing at all of us which is wild. But it is what it is when you're on certain medications that make you
Exactly.
loopy.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I'm just glad things are looking up, and
Yeah.
yeah, I have a guest in my queue, so I'm gonna bring him up. But hang in there, man. Hang in there.
Yeah. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
You got it. All right. We'll see you, Reckless.
All right. Thank you. You want to?
All right. Yeah, I got you. All right. So yeah, let's keep tapping that screen. Let's share it out with our friends. I know there's a whole bunch of other creators who came on before me, but that's okay. We got who we need here, so it's all good. So let's bring up a guest. How's it
How
going?
you doing?
Good.
Good.
Are you at least 18?
I'm 18. Yes, on
Okay.
the dot.
Right on. Well, happy birthday. So, right on. All right. So, now what religion are you?
So I came up here not to give you a certain religion because I am agnostic. But before you kick me off the live,
Oh,
for being agnostic,
yeah, we'll hear you for a minute.
Um,
Yeah. What you got?
okay. Like I don't think you can deny the existence of God either, or I feel like it's kind of almost I wouldn't say impossible because you don't believe in God, but like I also think you cannot be a non-believer either.
Well, I think it's kind of like this. Now there are some people who will say there is no God, right? They're Gnostic atheist. Ember and I, we're more the agnostic and the atheist. I don't know, and I don't believe, right? So it's kind of like, and you're just at the I don't know part, right? Maybe not. Is that about right?
Yeah,
Or maybe
yeah,
lean
right.
one way, like lean slightly one way or the other,
Yeah, maybe
something like
lean
that.
more towards God, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like this. It's like, do you know if Bigfoot exists? Like for a
No.
fact. Yeah. Do you believe that Bigfoot exists?
No.
Okay, there you go. So that would be equivalent to agnostic atheism. I don't know if Bigfoot exists, but I don't believe that Bigfoot exists, right? But there are some
Yeah.
who will say, I believe Bigfoot exists, and I don't know if he does. But then there are some that says, I know for a fact Bigfoot exists, So you kind of get you see where we are? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I mean,
Yeah, it's kinda
but
like that.
also at the same time, I feel like if God were to be real, there would be a much bigger chance of God existing than Bigfoot, just because, God, I feel like I don't know how to explain this, but Bigfoot is a very he could be real. It's a very low chance in my opinion,
It's
but
possible, right?
possible. That's where
I'm with you
these
on
like
that.
intertwine.
Yeah, I can't rule out the possibility of a God existing, right? Although, like I was saying earlier before you came up, I went down a deep rabbit hole on like physics last night, and like what they were explaining about like fields, like how our universe is made up of fields. I won't get into it because I don't want to bore people, but it definitely, I was definitely like, okay, wow, because I was kind of going down the rabbit hole of something from nothing, because I hear that a lot from believers. Can't have something from nothing. And so what I was looking at was like physicists who were saying there never was nothing. There always was something. And that was what was really interesting. So, because I happen to believe, the universe always existed. And so when I was reading up on this stuff, it was pretty fascinating. So I hear you. But at the same time, I can't rule out the possibility of a God, because it doesn't, like, depending on what the God is, it's not ultimately nonsensical, if that makes sense. Some gods are total nonsense, but a God, depending on what that God is, it could make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's very hard to apply like physics and science, especially like, we're just so much limitations. Like we're only on Earth. There's so much other planets and science out there that we just don't know. And we're like a very fraction of like 0.0001%. We know absolutely nothing about the universe. But we can say we know a lot because we basically do everything we can to know everything we know. But
Yeah, we know a lot
I
more than
feel
we
like,
used to, right? And we learn more
oh,
every
for
day.
sure, yeah,
Yeah, we learn more every day.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
I feel
yeah,
like
I'm with
I
you.
feel like you can't apply existence to or science to God, like not. And
I definitely
this
agree with
applies
that.
to both sides, right?
That I agree with. Cannot apply science to God, and I don't think
Because
physicists do that. Yeah, physicists don't do that. They just make observations about, they just describe what they see on their observation testing and all that stuff. When they apply the scientific method, they're basically just saying, hey, this is what we're seeing. That's pretty much it. Oh, you may have lost him in the void. May have. All right. Well, hey, I'll bring you down now, but hey, it was good talking to you. So, but we're not hearing from you, so we're gonna move on. But hey, appreciate you coming up. All right. So, yeah. So Miguel and Zuna, Eternal Universe. From what I researched, there's seems to be 3 models. So let me go to my notes. I actually take notes on this shit too, which is kind of crazy. Where is it? Where are my notes?
Can everybody please tap the screen so we can get to 10K likes? Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Please do. Please do. All right. I think it's actually on my phone. Actually, yeah, that's where I left it because I was on my phone late last night. So I don't know if anyone's like this, but like me, I am a person, like I go to bed late and I wake up early. And that is, and so what ends up invariably happening is that I'm up late, like just going down rabbit holes about stuff. And it used to be dangerous when I was a believer because then I'd go down, oh yeah, I was starting to go down.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, conspiracy theories and stuff like
So
that. Yeah.
easy to do as a Christian.
So easy to do. Exactly. So that was dangerous. But now it's like, now I'm like, when I'm like, okay, is this really true? Or I'm looking at like, like peer reviewed stuff or things like that. Like, I just don't like read anything. So, okay. So 3 models: eternal inflation, loop quantum cosmology bounce, and the conformal cyclic cosmology, or CCC. So I can explain these. I'll summarize these one at a time, the best I can. And mind you, I'm still reading into that. Okay, so I'll do this the best I can according to my notes. So this eternal inflation. It basically says that extremely early in cosmic history, the universe expanded exponentially for a tiny fraction of a second. And then the inflation basically never stops. And so it gets into what are called like bubble universes. And so our universe would simply be one bubble among potentially infinitely many. And it can continue forever into the future and possibly indefinitely into the past. And so this is the bubble universe thing, and it just produces universes continuously. So then you start getting into the whole Spider-Man multiverse framework, where universes are just constantly forming, and then continuation and inflation just keeps going. So that's what we have evidence for. And then when I say that most physicists do not say that the Big Bang is the beginning of time, this is what I'm talking about, because you guys have heard me say that more than once. The next one is loop quantum cosmology bounce, and you guys can look all this up, all right? And you know what? And if I'm wrong, come back and correct me. Come into the Discord and and correct me, because as I said, I'm just starting on this. So loop quantum cosmology. So essentially, like we hear a lot, we'll hear like people talk about the singularity, and there isn't, like, physicists are getting away from that. And that's like classical physics, but modern physics, they're talking about a bounce. So the universe bounces. So I think this is more like in line with like this is a big bounce, not a big bang. And that's what expansion begins. And so I think this is in line with like the Big Bang, Big Crunch. I think it is, but I'm not sure. Not sure about that. I'll look more into it. I'll probably read more on it tonight before I go to bed. And then conformal cyclic cosmology. And this is Roger Penrose. And so he says that the universe evolves through infinite cycles called eons. So there's an expansion, cosmic formation, cosmic evolution, galaxies forms, planets, stars, all that. Stars die, black holes form, then they eventually evaporate, and then the universe becomes dilute. And then basically when and so eventually mass will disappear, the universe will be almost all radiation, this is still along the lines of the infinitely expanding universe. And then what it basically does is it turns into a new Big Bang because there's so much radiation. So the end of one universe becomes the beginning of the next. So that's like the three big ones that support an eternal universe. And then there's the quantum eternity theorem, which you guys have heard me talk about. And that basically is a theorem using quantum mechanics about eternal time. That time went infinitely in the past, it goes infinitely in the future. So, so we have all these, things that point to, that are evidence for an eternal universe. So that's what we got. I thought physics moved away from a big crunch ending to heat death and infinite expansion. They might have, Andre, maybe. I'm not, you're talking to a non-physicist here, just somebody who stays up late and looks up stuff. And I usually go to like ResearchGate and places like that. Like I'll start at like a Science News. I'll read an article and then I'll go look it up on ResearchGate. And then I'll just try to make sense of it. Yeah. I just try to make sense of it. And so this is me trying to make sense of like high level PhD physics, like words and shit. So, all right. So let's bring up a guest. We have Khalil. All right. So just got to make sure you're at least 18. So that's probably the first thing we're going to find out. How's it going, Khalil?
Hello. It's good. It's good.
All right.
It's good.
All right.
Good.
Just making sure you're at least 18. We just got to follow TikTok terms of service.
Yeah. I'm above 18.
Okay, fantastic. You sound like it, so that's good. All right. And okay, and then which religion are you? Are you Christian, Muslim?
So I would say like I was a prior Christian. I didn't really like coming here to like debate you. I more so had like a question for you.
Yeah.
But I've been watching your lives for like a little while, and for the most part, like I like watching them. Like I like how open you are with talking and stuff. And so I grew up into Christianity and stuff like that. And I say like once I turned like 21 or so, 22, I kind of like drifted away. I'm like 24 now, and I don't know. I've been like a skeptic of all religion, and I would say I'm pretty much like fully deconstructed, but I'm trying to cope with that mindset of having like that Pascal's wager thing in my head. Like I want to just accept the fact that, I don't think this is true and there's way better evidence for other things, but it's like I always get scared, like, oh snap, like, what if the end times are real and I get to the end and God's like, well, your punishment is worse because you already had it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, where you at?
So I'm like, I guess I wanted to ask you, like, how did you cope with that at the end of it? Like, how did you do that?
Yeah, I I wrestled with that for a long time, and actually that's what kept me in the belief for a longest time was, man, what if I'm wrong? And what really did it, because the Pascal's wager is not just either Christianity or nothing, right? It's,
Mhm.
if you think about it, it's all the religions, it's all the beliefs about God, all the different flavors. It could be any of those. So you're talking thousands of religions, thousands of gods. So if you think about it, you only, like, if a believer, like a Christian, only believes in one more God than I do.
Mhm.
And so the odds are virtually the same. They're pretty much the same. One in 5,000 or what it is,
Right.
whatever it is, 1 in 5,000. It's a lottery. And then I began to think about it like this, Khalil, because like what was making me hold on was that fear of being wrong and fear of screwing up. And I realized I don't really believe this because I only believe it because I'm scared of the consequences. But I don't really believe in that this God exists. You see what I mean? You see the difference? And this is more like faith insurance. I'm just hedging. I'm just placing my chip on one, and maybe I'll straddle another one. Like if you ever been to the craps table, you straddle. So you can get the possibility of 2 numbers, but then your odds go down a little bit. And that's essentially what I was doing. Yeah. And that's not really believing in a God. And so I just had to wrestle with that. I had to come to terms with that. And then I was like, well, let me think about this here, because they're not okay. If there is a God, and this God wants a relationship, why would this God just not have a relationship? Because relationships take 2. Like, it'd be like my dad. Everybody's saying, yeah, your dad wants a relationship with you. Your dad wants a relationship with you. But this dad never calls, never writes, never emails, never comes by, never comes through. And then everybody, and then like my auntie saying, oh yeah, I just saw your dad the other day. Oh yeah, he's doing great. Or, like my cousin saying that, everybody's saying that but me. Like, okay, my dad just came through and saw everybody but me. Like, what's up with that? Like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
me?
Like I've had that same mindset for
Mhm.
like a couple of years now, and like not everybody makes me feel crazy, but like all my people, or like at least most of them who are still Christian, or like even other people who believe in other things, when I give them my reasoning, they make me sound like I'm a madman, because I'm like I'll just refer to the Bible and I'll be like, all right, well, I used to be that dude growing up who will say like, well, Jesus is everything, and like he has a totally different mindset from the Old Testament God. And I'm like, no, once I started thinking about it, I'm like, this is the same people, like the same God who in the Old Testament allowed, grape or other things like that. This is the same one in the New Testament. Like, I don't understand how we could just look at that and just act like, oh, well, since he supposedly quote unquote sacrificed for a couple of days, all of a sudden, like things are just different. I don't understand that.
Yeah, right.
Right.
It just, like, you just think it through and it just doesn't add up. And you make a great point about this Old Testament God versus this New Testament God. You make a great point about that, because I do ask a lot of people, listen, if you had an uncle in your family who everybody says is cool, is great, is cool to you, but then you found out that a time ago this uncle was torturing kids in his basement,
Right.
but he's not doing it anymore. All right, he's not doing it anymore, but you just found out. Yeah, and maybe then you ask people about it. So yeah, but he isn't doing it anymore. He's turned a new leaf. But he hasn't apologized. He hasn't done time. Nothing like that. And then I ask people, would you sit next to this uncle at the cookout? Would you really? And every time they're like, no. Well, come on now.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him, because I'm like, I run into people a lot who say like, oh, well, it was different because like they were under this certain law and it was eye for an eye. I'm like, no, like when you literally go through it, like in 2 Samuel, when you read the punishment for like David's concubines, I'm like, that was nowhere near eye for eye. Like that's like me saying, all right, well, since you threw a penny at me, like I'm gonna shoot you in your face, like that.
Yeah, exactly. Totally true.
crazy
let you.
talk to me. Now I do have one more question. I don't want to hold you
Yeah,
too long, but like
sure.
so with the whole coping factor, like, all right, let's say somebody comes to me and they're like, all right, well, you might not believe it now, but like as you can see, there are certain end time events going on right now, like the Euphrates River is drying up. So what do you think about that? I don't even know what to say because I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. Like life happens. I don't know how to respond to that. Like
Great.
I don't know.
Yeah. Great questions. And I think one thing you can do is always remember that the person who makes the claim has the burden of proof. You don't have the burden of proof because that's just like someone saying to you, hey, yo, I heard you don't believe in Santa Claus. Can you prove he doesn't exist? You see how silly that sounds? Can you prove that Santa didn't leave those presents under your tree? Can you prove that he doesn't come through the chimney? It's like when you start like parsing that out, like that doesn't make any sense. It's the person who believes in the claim. They have to demonstrate it's true. And so in that sense, it's look, this is what I said in the beginning before I started finding more stuff out. Like, for example, Euphrates River has been drying up and flooding throughout as far as we can tell. And then we have geological evidence that it's been doing that since it's been a river. So that just happens. It happens. Yeah. That's just what it does. And so you could lead with that. You could say, well, there's geological evidence that it's been doing this, for millions of years. So what's your evidence that it's a sign from God? And then just listen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
yeah. I try to just like hear their points, but then like to me, it just always go back to circular reasoning because every time they always say this stuff to me, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, whether it's the Christian God, the Muslim God, the Hindu God, ancient Egyptian gods, whether it doesn't matter who it is, if these people exist, if they have the power to like change anybody's mind right now and to like literally find any way for me to believe, why don't they just do it?
Yeah.
Because obviously I feel like I don't have good enough reason. So like, why don't they just give me the reason? Why are they trying to like basically hide from me right now on purpose?
Right.
I don't understand that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah. And so I think as the, like, like you just trying to live your life, just trying to get on in life. Right. And then you encounter this every once in a while. Like I do this every day, but if you encounter it every once in a while and people are coming at you like that, yeah, it's just ask them, well, how do you know? Like, how do you actually know? Like, what did you do how did you verify it? That's my name, Trust But Verify. So that I ask that a lot too. Like, how did you determine that this is true? And what you're going to find is it goes into a lot of circular reasoning. Now, if they're loved ones, I would be like, all right, I'll be chill. I'd be like, all right, I'll think about that. I'll think on it. Or else if you think you can confront them a little more, if you feel comfortable with that, you'd be like, well, I'm just at a point in my life where I need to believe in things that have evidence and that are true for them to be true. Yeah. I just need to, that's just where I'm at right now. And so I'm open to it. Yeah. If somebody can show me some evidence or God can show me some evidence, I'm there. And then you'll always get the, well, look around you. Okay. Well, but science has a lot of explanations for that. What do you say about that?
Right. Is there anybody else in line? Because I don't want to be in anybody else's way. If there's
we got somebody waiting, but I was just answering your last question. So,
okay, cool.
No, it's a good question, but Khalil, come back anytime when you have more questions. We're gonna have probably on Friday, if you're around. I'm gonna do a deconstruction chat. If you want to come back and ask more questions, talk more, listen to people who are going through the deconstruction process. Who are kind of where you're at. Maybe further down, maybe not as far, just kind of,
for
space.
sure. I always get your notifications and stuff, and I'm in the Discord, so I'll just pull up when you start it up.
Yeah, pull up. Welcome anytime, man. I appreciate
I
you.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
y'all have a good day.
All right, it's nice meeting you, man. Take care.
You too.
All right. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think we've all been where Khalil is, or we're at where we are where Khalil is. Or maybe we're not there yet, but we're in the process. And yeah, I think that these conversations are probably the most. Oh, great point, Alan. Keep asking questions. Exactly. Keep asking questions. That's a great point. I think that's probably what I should have just said. That's even better than what I said. Just keep asking questions. So, all right. Well, let's bring up Big Soup. Let's see what Big Soup has to say. All right. How's it going?
Hi.
Hi there. Well, it looks like you teacup. Oh, there you go. Okay. Just for TikTok
there you go,
purposes,
there you go.
just want to verify you're at least 18.
Yes, over 18.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. And then which religion are you?
Actually, I'm not in any religion. I just wanted
Okay.
to go ahead and piggyback off of
Sure.
Khalil, I believe. Yeah. And I also had a few questions as well.
Sure. Yeah. We got a few minutes. Sure.
Well, perfect. Well, I wouldn't say that well, honestly, I'm not too sure, and maybe this is something that you're able to clarify for me. So it's not that I'm, atheist completely to say that I don't believe in anything,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't say that I believe in any god or gods, if that makes sense, or nothing like a religion. But I guess I'm more into spirituality.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that is something that is also like an atheism, or is atheism completely something that's like nothing out there,
Oh, that's a good
if that
question.
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we have atheists who do believe in ghosts and spirits, and they believe in like astrology and tarot and things like that, and like their like talking to their ancestors and things of that sort. So yeah, we have. So that's the thing, is atheism is just one statement, is that I don't believe in any gods. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then it could extend, like, I don't believe in any spirits or ghosts or Ouija or tarot or anything like that. Like my daughter, she likes to mess with tarot. It's like more fun for her. So I've gotten her like 3 or 4 decks of tarot cards, and it's just kind of funny because Christians will pull up and they'll be like, oh man, you invited Satan to your home. Man, nothing's going on in my house.
I
Everything's
love
fine.
tarot. Tarot is
No,
great.
literally,
It's just
yeah,
fun.
literally,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just
Because I
fun.
mean,
She'll do my
for
reading and all that. Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, in that sense, that's why I also do tarot, but that's also more like when you get into it, a lot of people do believe or suggest that tarot is kind of like a way to have your conscience, if that makes sense, like your higher being to really like kind of guide you and tell you
Yeah.
But so I guess it just depends on the person, right?
Yeah, it depends on the person.
But
And you know what? I don't have an issue with people believing things like that. And when I say like that, I don't mean it like I'm looking down on it. All I'm saying is
no.
that, yeah, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying that to me, I think it's okay to have beliefs as long as we're not pushing them onto other people and making it an agenda,
Oh, yeah, of
right?
course.
Yeah, or like we're doing things like, well, because I believe this, I'm right, and the way you live or the choices you make or the things that you do or who you are is a problem, and so we got to pass laws to contain you or to take your rights away or something like that. That's where it gets problematic for me. So
Yeah, of
I
course.
am all for people believing whatever they want to believe. But that's why I do this, is because there are people who are wanting to take rights away from other people because of their beliefs that they cannot demonstrate are true. And that's a problem. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah. So
Yeah, that was just like a big thing for me. I was just like, yeah, like I don't believe that there is a God, just from everything that I've read and everything that people have discussed on here as well.
mhm.
It's just kind of something I'm like, yeah, but I mean, when you like bring up contradictions, I'm like, how do you explain that? Or when
Yeah.
you bring up like obviously with science, it's like, well, hey, the universe began like this, or how we started, etc. Right? So that's a lot more believable. But then obviously, yeah, you have that spiritual like sense in you that you're like, but is that really completely it? And that was always like the confusion with me, because it was always like, well, personally, when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, like I believe that. Well, not that I believe, but it's something that I'm like, it costs me that I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me, that
Yeah.
if we're all like, it might sound a little out there, but again, like these are discussions that I really am like, interested in, and just to see what
That's fair.
people think. for like for everybody. Who knows, like maybe we are a bigger conscience, that we're all a part of the same being or same
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Yeah.
and that we're all individually living through our own experience, but we still come up and connect with that, like that bigger consciousness of that, if that makes sense, right?
Yep. That
So
makes a
it's
lot of
kind of
that
like
makes sense.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was always kind of like the confusion for me, because I'm like, would I say that I'm atheist or would I say that I'm spiritual? So that was something that was kind of like in the back of my mind. And like Khalil has said before me, it's like, but then they bring in religion, and it's like, now you feel guilty, because it's like, but what if that is true? What if I do meet that God later on, and it's like, well, hey, you didn't believe in me, and etc., right? And that's where like that fear, but I guess
Mm-hmm.
it's just something that religion has rooted in you, and it's kind of like little by little to kind of deconstruct it, right?
Exactly. And
But
I kind of sit on this relationships are a two-way street, and one big aspect of a relationship is presence. So like if my wife if I never like spoke to my wife or saw my wife, called her, texted her, nothing, why would I expect her to still remain married to me and think I'm her husband? Like that doesn't make
mhm,
sense, right? So it's about presence.
yeah,
And if this God isn't and if this God is that powerful, this God created existence, influences existence, like reality, then
mhm,
there should be no problem with this God, everybody knowing that this God is here and present and doing something, or just at
yeah,
least being
exactly.
present. There shouldn't be a problem with that. So I think
Mhm,
this is just all around. Yeah. But again, I'm not like the book isn't closed on me. Yeah. If you can demonstrate it, if
mm,
you can show me that this God exists, okay, let's go.
exactly. That's probably like it's not that I'm closed to it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like yeah, but again, like if he's able to do all of this, like exactly like you said, then I'm pretty sure he should have showed himself, or at least tried to be like, hey, like let's stop doing something, or like come up here and be like, hey guys, like whatever's going on, like this isn't right.
Exactly.
But so far nothing, and that's
Nothing.
exactly where I think too. But even it sounds kind of out there too, but it's also like if you don't believe in that, and you somehow do meet that God in the afterlife, I wouldn't think I mean, according to how you and be like accepting, be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you could have been misguided or lost or whatever, but now you're back home, and now I'm here,
Yeah.
and I'm here to show you.
Yeah,
So it's kind of
exactly.
like that's where religion also kind of affects me, because it's like again, like I don't find that fair when people start telling you like, hey, you're gonna go to hell, or you're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
condemned or whatever because you
It's
don't believe in
traumatizing.
him, or
Yeah,
if you don't exactly
it's totally
exactly. And it's like,
traumatizing.
well,
Yeah.
hey, you guys are describing him as this all big loving figure, like wouldn't he accept you regardless, like if
Mm-hmm.
you did not follow his teaching or his whatever. So that is exactly the same thing.
I hear
So it
you.
kind of goes back into that, like that trauma. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of hard sometimes to let that go and be like, well, I don't believe in him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm with you. Well, hey, listen, we're going to do like a deconstruction thing on Friday. So, you're
Mhm.
welcome to pull up if you have more questions between now and
Yeah,
then,
perfect.
or stick around and listen. Hey, maybe we'll all get converted today. You never know.
No, perfect. Thank you for answering my questions. That
You
really
got it.
did help me out.
All right. Well, hey, nice meeting you, and take care. Enjoy the rest of your
Nice
day.
meeting you as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
You as well.
All right. So it's interesting.
Yes, I love the deconstruction like lives. Everybody can share their story. I would love to share my story at some point too,
Okay.
and I think it's so fascinating and good for people to be able to hear that.
Yeah.
And to be able to understand that they're not alone, and that we are real people who have deconstructed
Yeah.
and who are
Agreed.
still deconstructing through so many different things.
Agreed. I totally agree. And like I said, man, Yeah, holy Katie, fat chance of that. Okay. And that's fair. Um, and that's totally fair to say that. I hear that. It's just funny because I just can't rule out the possibility. But people are different, and I'm not going to split hairs with with the community over possibility versus certainty. And nah, man, that's just not worth that's not worth it. It's such a tiny hill to die on. The fact of the matter is, we all got here because of things that just don't add up, and so in the Christian book, in the Bible, it says, I was saying it multiple times yesterday. It says it in Matthew 28 verses 19 and 20. It says, "Go and make disciples of all the nations, and teach them to obey the commands that I have given you." And so here we are. What would it take to convince me? Oh, that's a good question, KJ. You turned it on me. It's much the same as what you said, KJ. First of all, like I said, you'd have to convince me that there's a God. That's number one. And then you'd have to reconcile. A person would have to reconcile like everything we know about our reality and how a lot of that does not point to a God. Why science explains a lot about our reality and doesn't say anything about a God. You got to explain that and make that make sense. Then the next thing is from a God to your particular God. Now, then explain to me how then it's your particular God. That's number two. And then the third thing is, okay, so like if it's the Christian God or if it's the Muslim God, then explain to me why I should worship that God. And it's just like that. And I think so it's three hurdles. I'm not gonna lie to you. And the third one is going to be the hardest one of all, because then you would have to really convince me that the things I read in the Bible that this God commanded, allowed, and outright did were good. That's going to be tough. And it's not good enough to say because he's God. This isn't good enough. So you got to come up with a better reason than that. Where are you at on that, Ember?
Oh yeah, I am the same. That's exactly what I was thinking when I read that chat. Is I cannot find a reason if that God, if the Abrahamic God is real, I cannot find a reason why I should even support that God in any aspect. Like not to mention worship it.
Yeah.
I find so many horrific things in that book that it's just why, now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. And why would I follow a God that is like that?
Exactly. And so, there's a lot of non-believers in here, right? And if you're with me on this, so if someone were to, because it's three levels, right? If they were to convince you there is a God, and it makes sense and it's rational, and then they convince you it's their God, and then they convince you that this God, despite all the things that they did, is good somehow, I would worship that God. And it's not that I would be deluded. It was that there would be a reasonable explanation that, it's a known reasonable explanation, not it's just a mysterious, it's up to God, or it's God, only God knows, or it's some mysterious thing. Like we just give it away. No, there's a reason. It would be like saying somebody was caught sneaking into retirement homes and torturing old people, right? And it would be the same thing. We would need to have a sufficient explanation. We wouldn't, if the person said, well, I have a really good reason to do it. Well, what is that reason? Trust me, it's a good reason. We would want to know what the reason is. I mean, that's just how it is. That's just how morality works. That's how moral reasoning works. You have to have a sufficient explanation for things. You have to have a justification. And so to say God doesn't need a justification, well, why? Why not? Because he's God? Well, why? Why not? So it just, so you got to give us the moral principle. You got to tell us what moral principle that meets, that justifies this God doing the things he's doing. You can't just say because he's God, because that's just might makes right. And that's not a moral principle, because then that's what people did to justify Schindler. That's what people did to justify,
Eugenics.
Just mass graves, just pick out a dictator. Jim Jones, that's what people were justifying that they're doing, because you got to have a better reason than that. All right, let's bring up the next guest. How's it going?
What's up, man?
Hey, not much. How you doing?
What do you go by? Truth?
Trust.
Or trust?
Yeah, just call me Trust.
Trust.
Yeah.
Man, I've been sitting here just enjoying your live,
Yeah,
man.
thanks for waiting.
Makes a lot
Appreciate
of
you.
sense.
Okay.
You're very smart, man.
I don't know about all that, but I just ask a lot of questions and things just don't make sense to me, and I just say it. That's all.
Yeah, I think we think along the long lines, and I've been listening, and I'm like, wow, this dude really got his, he really got his knowledge up about it. I just wanted to ask a few questions.
Sure.
Because I used to be really strong in the faith,
Okay.
and I was pretty much indoctrinated into Seventh-day Adventists. You know about that one?
Seventh-day Adventist. Yes, I know something about that. In some ways similar to Mormons. In some ways, but in some ways not.
In some ways, yeah, they're very strict.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too much into trauma dumping, but they have no problem. I mean, they used to, at least back in the day. They have no problem with using abuse to push their agenda. They become very abusive.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
They condone things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, where I started just deconstructing and became atheist was pretty much when I started looking up the origin, which I noticed a lot of people don't do that study religion. I started looking up the origin of religion, and the reason I did that is because I wanted to know, what did Jesus actually say? Like, what were his actual words, and where did he write? And lo and behold, you can't find anything. Jesus never wrote a word. He never owned anything. It's like there's no trace of him other than hearsay or what other people say who are of the religion.
Such a good point.
Say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but outside of the religion, and I was like, okay, well, let me just look at somebody back from those times that was around, that was not a Christian. What did they say about Jesus? And you can't find anything. The only people who mentioned Jesus back in the time, the first century, when Jesus supposedly was around, are people of the Christian religion. The very people that made up the religion are the only ones who mention him. So then I'm like, got suspicious, and I'm like, okay, let me look at some of these people who were around. And, there are even Romans that were around before Jesus and after Jesus. Never mentioned the guy. So very suspicious, right? How could they not, even if they didn't believe in Christianity, how would they not mention a guy
How would
who
you not know
came
about
back
this
from the
brother?
dead or walked on water? Yeah, walked on water and gave sight to the blind. Why would they just leave him out of all of their chronicles and all of their writings, And I get kicked out of a lot of Christian lives for talking this way. I mean, they just immediately kick you out because they don't want to hear that, and or they just say you're lying, But I'm like, no, I can actually show you the Google search I did. Like, there's people like Seneca and Justus, that were Romans that were around when he was, and they were authors, they were historians, and they don't mention anything about a Jesus.
You know what's interesting, Midwest, is there's Josephus and Tacitus, right? And Pliny, who were talking about early Christian history, right? And Jesus' name is mentioned. And then there's like is it the Talmud? I think that's what it is. It's the equivalent to the Jewish Reddit back in the day, but that was like hundreds of years later, and it was like a slam board, and they were just raking Jesus over the coals. They were just like making fun of him, mocking him and all this other stuff. But that's all you'll find. So you're largely correct that it's only like a few places in the first like 100 years that ever mentioned, and actually late first century to mid second century. So it just really depends because they can't put like a time frame on this, right? And the closer you get to the mid second century, the less likely it is that it was direct evidence that these historians pulled this from. Like they talked to somebody who knew Jesus, because you're talking like 100 years later, right? In a time where people didn't regularly live that long. So
Right.
it would be
Years,
hearsay.
I mean, centuries
Yeah.
later.
Mhm.
And the craziest thing, because a lot of these Christians, they will tell you, well, it's all they seem to love Josephus. They seem to think that he's the end all tell all proof that there's a Jesus.
It's like a
But if
paragraph
you
at
research
best.
his writings,
Yeah.
yeah, if you research his writings, though, you find that he interpreted, or basically, I can't say the word right, but he basically changed the words that of all the information from a guy named Eusebius.
Mhm.
I don't know if you look,
Yeah,
but you got to look at
Eusebius,
him
yeah.
too, because that's
Mhm.
where Josephus got. Yeah, Josephus got most of his writings from Eusebius, and he changed it. And
Mhm.
Eusebius was a guy who admitted that he lies for the better of the church. He actually is recorded wrote that
Yeah.
he was he was fooling, well, not really fooling people, but he said it was okay to lie and make up stuff for the betterment of the church, for the belief of the religion. All right, so big discrepancy for me. I mean, I got a detective mind. I'm like, that don't make no sense.
That don't add up, right?
And like I
Right?
said, yeah, that
That
don't
glove
add
doesn't
up.
fit.
Right. It's like, wait, hold a minute. Right. It's like,
Yeah.
hold up,
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we have people even from the first century where there is evidence that they were around because they've owned things, their signatures, there's even portraits, like paintings of them that all look the same, coins. I mean, things that are just proof that they were there, property that they owned, but you have nothing on Jesus. There's
Yeah.
nothing like that. You can't find one artifact or anything of Jesus. And then they like to point to the Shroud of Turin. I know you probably heard of that, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Easy to debunk.
So
Easy.
supposedly,
Debunked in
yeah, very.
1988.
I was,
Done.
man, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna get the proof that I need. And so I went and looked that up, and then found out completely debunked, not even real. There's no way that they could have a veil like that wrapped around somebody who was, beaten severely and bleeding, and have it look that perfect when
Yes.
when it's unveiled. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
there's just like, if you look at the origin, a lot of people just don't want to believe it. But one of the biggest things for me, because I heard you talking earlier about the existence of God and explaining that, and I kind of have the same view. But my thing is, and this is another thing gets me kicked out of these Christian lives, is that, hey, if there was a God, and this, I believe this with my whole chest. This is my whole belief on why I don't think there's a God. If there was a God, you're talking about an eternal, supernatural creator of the universe, creator of humanity. I don't believe there's any way that could exist. Something of that, an entity of that large could exist without us knowing about it.
Right.
There's no way that
Right.
something could be that massive and that powerful, and we would just be all, we don't know if he exists.
Completely
Like, you have
oblivious
to
to it?
study for 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, I don't even think that he could not reveal himself to us. Like, that's just my belief, and
Mhm.
they say I'm crazy or whatever. And like I said, kick me out for that. But I'm like, just think about it. Look at the universe. Like, that's how apparent I think God would be, as the sun and the moon and the stars. Like,
Yeah.
he would just be something everybody knows about. And you could deny him and you could say he doesn't believe him, but it probably wouldn't be smart.
Mhm.
But I mean, like, you could say he's not real, but that would be, to me, it would be like saying the universe isn't real if he was real. And
Yeah.
that's just kind of where
Totally
I'm
agree
at
with
with it. I'm like, there's just no way we wouldn't know. There wouldn't be all these millions of religions. There wouldn't be all of this. You got to study for 40 years a book that has anachronisms and inconsistencies in it to find it.
Yeah.
He would be before us. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
And they're like, no, he's playing this peekaboo game or whatever. And the last thing I'll leave you with is I ask them all the time. It's what I always ask Christians. They get really mad. I said, what would be bad if God just like stuck his face or his hand out of a cloud? How would that be bad or good for humanity? And they immediately say it'd be a bad thing because it would
Mm-hmm.
take away our free will.
How?
You know what I mean? They go right to the free. I know
Right?
exactly.
How?
And I'm like, but wait a minute. Is God? Well. Here's the bigger question: is God still God, whether I believe in him or not?
Mm-hmm. Still God. Yeah.
Right. So why the hell are we here? Why are we in this predicament? Why is
Yeah.
all this suffering and hate and craziness going on? If at
Yeah.
the end of the day, he wants us to believe in him on our own free will, but even if we don't, he's still going to be the truth, right? God. So
I mean,
it makes no sense.
it just makes no sense. It
He
just
let all of this endless
Mhm.
suffering happen just to prove that he is God. But at the end of the day, if whether we believe it or not, he's still going to be that thing. They act like if we don't believe in him, he's not God no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So we have to
Exactly.
do it of our own free will. So that's just where I'm at with it. But yeah, I enjoy the live,
That's a
man.
good spot.
I heard you talking about something you're doing on Friday.
Yeah. Like a
Um,
deconstruction live,
what
like where we're
time?
at.
What time you doing that?
Same time. I usually come on at like 4 o'clock Eastern time. Um, you like,
Oh, okay.
and
So
if you're
I'm
in the
working 2
Midwest,
jobs right now, man.
oh
So
man,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
sorry to
got
hear
a
that.
daughter in college, so I'm
Oh
trying to I'm trying
goodness.
to,
Okay, that
you
explains
know,
everything. Yeah.
yeah.
This must be your day off
So,
then.
but well, I'm off work now, but I got to go to the other job tomorrow night, but Friday
Oh,
too. But I do get off around 4 o'clock, so I might be able to catch about an hour of it
okay.
if you're
Okay.
starting at 4,
Yeah. I start right around 4.
and I'll definitely remember you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Come on back and yeah,
And
we're just
I'm following you, and I'm also following your
absolutely
other guest below me. I didn't know I was following her, but that means I must have heard her
them.
talk and thought,
Yeah,
okay, she's smart.
following them.
Let
Yeah.
me, because I only follow the smart people on
Well,
on this
you
app,
made you well in that case, following them, you made a great choice because they are one of the smartest people I know. So
Oh,
absolutely.
well, thank you. I just gave you a follow back, Midwest.
All right, I
Incidentally, I
appreciate
just
y'all,
moved to the
man.
Midwest, so nice to
Yeah,
talk to someone
I'm
from
from
the
Michigan.
area. Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah,
I'm from the Chicago area.
there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well, I'll
Yeah.
leave you to it, man. I hope you
Okay,
get some
man.
more Christians up here to
You,
debate.
you got it, Midwest. Thank you for coming up and saying hi to me and all that stuff. Yeah, but everything you said, I mean, there wasn't really much I could add to it. You said everything that I was thinking, so we're there.
Yeah, and I'll be back on Friday.
Okay, well, looking forward to seeing you then. All right, have a good one, Midwest. All right. And I think that's the thing. Yeah. Midwest made some really, really good points. But see, I think that's the thing. Is yes, for the believers in the chat who are listening or out in the hallway, you've heard several people say these are the things that are not making sense to me. And I think it's a pretty easy thing. It's a pretty low bar. All you got to do is just make that all make sense. And it's not that any of us are like we just don't want to believe, or I don't know whatever reason you think up that it is, but these are legitimately people who have sat and thought about this. He did the research and it's coming up empty. And if you're a Christian, it is your job to minister to us, to convince us to worship this God, to obey the commands that Jesus gave. It is your job to do that. I mean, Jesus gave you a command to do that. It says in 1 Peter 3, verse 15, be ready to give a full accounting of the hope that is within you. So none of this, like I'm looking at Christians here in the chat and they're not doing any of that. They're not ministering. You're not ministering. You're arguing, you're debating, but that's not ministering. So that's what I'm saying is I'm up here to be ministered to. You have to convince me. And so I'm just not seeing that. I just really have I have doubts that you're actual Christians, that you actually believe this. I think it's more that you want to argue and fight. If God was real and disbelief meant eternal punishment, would you worship him? No, because it's on God to get me to believe in him. Just the same. It would be like this. My dad was never around. My dad was never here, never called, never wrote, never showed, never came through, never emailed, never texted, nothing. And then one day I meet my dad and my dad's like, where you been? Well, the question is, where have you been? Relationships are a two-way street. It goes both ways. So there's no way in hell you're gonna have a relationship with your dad if your dad never shows up, if your dad is never around. If my wife never saw me, never talked to me, never heard from me, is she supposed to just believe that I'm there? No. And then somebody said to her, you know, that was not a good thing you did, divorcing Trust. Trust loved you, man. Trust loves you. She'd be like, where? Nobody would blink an eye if she divorced me. Nobody would. And so that's just the thing. We give this God all these excuses. So, but if there's a good reason, then let's hear it. Let's hear the good reason. I mean, it just seems to come down to because he's God. And how do we know God's a he anyway? That's what somebody said in my comments on one of my videos.
Yeah, honestly, it's a good question because who's to say that it's one God, that it's a male God, that it's not this like gender queer or agender amorphous being,
Or an
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They like
asexual,
there could be
non-sexual,
multiple of them, like it just but no, it has to be a he. And let me mute before I go on a rant about the patriarchy.
No, man. I'm with you on that. It's just, yeah. And it just kind of, I know it was a shower thought that I have, but that I just made public, but still, yeah, it's like, it's like beyond what's in the Bible, we can't really describe this God. And then there's just some that say they've had a personal experience, you know? So look, I've been doing this. Actually, it's pretty soon. It's going to be 2 years. I've been doing this. I've been doing these lives going on. It's almost going to be 2 years. And in this 2 years, there's been 5 reasons that everybody gives me. 5 reasons. 1, personal experience. This is their evidence. Personal experience. The way they were raised or where they grew up. So, like for example, person born in India, excellent chance they'll be a Hindu. Excellent chance. If you're born in the U.S., excellent chance you'll be a Christian. Like, very, very good chance. Third one is some type of logical arguments. That's where the kind of the Phil Bros come in. Fourth, some type of historical evidence. So usually citing the Bible, Jesus existed, Josephus, Eusebius, Pliny, all that. And then 5th, faith. So it's just my faith tells me it's true. And if you go but see, the thing is, with all 5 of these, you can use all 5 of those reasons to justify any religion out there. Any religion. Any religion has all 5 elements of this in one form or another. And then it kind of gets into the nitty-gritty. Well, no, because it doesn't have it like this. And then they're going to try and tell you, well, my evidence is legit. My holy book's legit, but this holy book is not. And it comes down to 5 reasons. So essentially and this is like a reason, this is something I haven't pulled out in a long time, but this is what it's equivalent to. What it's equivalent to is there is an answer, like let's just say you're in school and the teacher writes an answer on the board, right? Or a question on the board. And then 5 different kids stand up and go answer the question. And we don't know the answer to the question, but there's 5 different kids that go up and answer the question. So One person says it's Christianity. One other person says it's Hinduism. The other person says it's Islam. The other one says, no, it's Norse paganism. The other one says it's Wicca. And it's the same, to the question. And they're all adamant that they're right, that they're 100% convinced that they're right. How do you determine who's right if we don't know the true answer? Teacher doesn't know the answer. All right. Let's just say that. Don't know the true answer, but they are convinced that they are right. They are all right. Well, they can't all be right. And that's the thing. You can't, because the religions are diametrically opposed to each other. Islam says there is no God but Allah. I mean, it is clear. And if you worship any other God except Allah, you will burn eternally in hellfire. So, truth is what comports to reality. That's what truth is. It lines up with reality. This is my hand. That's truth. 1 + 1 = 2. That's truth. This is a phone. That's truth. So there is no my truth, your truth, his truth, her truth, their truth. I mean, truth is truth. If truth were subjective, then there'd be people running into each other at red lights all the time, because which one is true? Is it red light means go or stop? Green light means go or stop. So if it's just up to everybody's truth, then you'd have so many accidents at red lights, at stoplights. So, yeah. So if you're a Christian, then, do your duty as to what it says in the Bible and come up and minister, because that's what you're supposed to do. That is what truth is. I'm going by the dictionary definition of truth, Virtu. I mean, are you telling me the dictionary is wrong? Is that what you're telling me? And see, this is the thing. Okay, well, I'm going to just redefine words to mean what I mean, and then declare that I'm right. Everyone has their own truth. That's opinion. You're conflating opinion with truth, Anthony Evans. The truth, the definition of truth is what lines up with reality. That is what truth is. It's that simple.
I also want to point out, going along with, Christianity or Christians saying that, only Christianity is true or whatever, and that, these other cults are not true. The only difference between a religion and a cult is popularity plus time.
Mm-hmm.
You go long enough, and that small cult, becomes a religion that is literally taking over the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not just because it's popular, just because it's what so many people in politics or in power are saying is true, does not mean it's actually truth or reality.
Exactly.
People use spiritual, biblical, religious texts for their own political purposes all the time.
All the time. All the time. Yep. I mean, and truth be told, Christianity still has kind of a long way to go.
Yes, extremely far.
Yeah, it's got a long way to go. I mean, the Egyptian religion was around for a long time. People were worshiping Ra and Anubis and Horus for a long, long time. So, we're still
and
deep
worshiping cats.
Yeah, and cats, exactly, and cats. So
I mean, let's be real, we still do that.
Yeah, we still kind of do that. Yeah, that's true. So let's see. There was a question in the chat from I thought I saw a question. As of now, do you think you could convince your past self to leave religion? As of now, do you think you could convince your past self to leave religion? That's actually a really good question. That's a good question. I don't know if I could, because I was pretty deep in it. Yeah, that's a good question.
I guess it would be like, for me, it would depend on which time period.
Yeah.
If it was when I was in college, probably not. If it was when I was in high school or after college, probably.
Mm,
But college really hit me hard because I was so deep in it.
mm,
Like
mm,
literally studying the Bible all day, every day.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think when I was in that mode, when I was studying the Bible every day, I don't think I would have even talked to myself, to someone like me. I probably would have avoided someone like me.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would have thought that like, oh man, I mean, because I'm a Satanic Temple Satanist. I am an atheist, I am queer, I am trans. Like, I would have been terrified of who I am now.
And I had a lot of people like surrounding me too who believed the same thing. So I was pretty insulated. So it would have been hard to get to me. Yeah. So I don't think I would have been able to. But see, it was a different time back then too, because I mean, we're talking, this was before the internet. Like stuff like this could just appear, like what I'm doing, it could just appear on a believer's feed just out of nowhere. So they would have to really isolate themselves from it.
This is true.
Yeah, kind of a different time. But if I was if I lived in this time like we're in now, and I was young, maybe a better chance, but still, it would still be hard. Yeah. So best answer I can give you is probably not. I don't think I could. But I think that's the thing, is that these things take time, because it was years of me deconstructing, years upon years. I don't know. How long did it take for you, Ember? Do you think?
Let's see. Before I deconverted, I would say, how long was it? I started basically almost right after I graduated or did my last class in school. It was incidentally a Life of Christ class that made me start deconstructing. Yeah, because I actually at the time thought that Jesus was more feminist. And my school didn't like that. My professor hated that. He still gave me a good grade because I wrote papers well, but he hated my perspective. And that really started my deconstruction of, wow, something is up, that this is not only, he was also an NIV only professor, which is just I know, very weird. Very weird. Yes. Yeah, but he got so angry in my comments, just this paragraph of that, feminism is against Christianity and stuff like that. And I was like, this doesn't feel right to me. So
yeah,
but that started so I would say, sorry, that's a long answer, ADHD.
No, it's all good.
But so I was about 23 at that time. About 5 years, I think I was about 28 when I deconverted, and that was after a lot of personal things happened. A lot of really, really hard things, transplant, divorce, all of that stuff. And it was just kind of, once I was at a point where I wasn't just surviving anymore, it just kind of all broke. And I was like, oh, well, I don't believe in sin anymore. I don't believe in God anymore. And it was very freeing.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time.
Yeah, it took me a long time too. I mean, I think the first domino that fell was when I was 17, when I first read the Bible all the way through. It's the first domino to fall. And just overall, it just didn't add up. A lot of things didn't add up. And then the more I asked, the less it made sense. And the
Yep.
end conversation every time was something to the effect of, go read the Bible again, go pray on it, or go ask this dude. That's how like most of the conversations ended, like with priests and like, you know, like teachers and stuff like that. Just a lot of things they couldn't
Yeah, that's
answer.
interesting. Because we both grew up in Christianity, but you grew up within Catholicism,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up within the evangelical
Mm-hmm.
Protestant world. I mean, they're both gross, but for
Mm-hmm.
different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's interesting how even being in those very different traditions, you still experience very similar amounts of trauma, of like questions, of not getting the answers, of getting turned away, and very vague responses from the people that you're trying to learn from.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's disheartening, right? And
It is.
and then at the end of the day, it's like, well, you just got to pray on it. You just got to have faith. The one that broke me of Catholicism is when I realized and understood that you literally have to believe that the body and blood of Christ literally become the body and blood of Christ. That it's cannibalism. That right there, I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that transubstantiation is very, I mean, that's blood magic. It's
blood magic.
It's quite literally blood magic.
Yeah.
And they don't see it.
And I or you'll ask them and then they'll be like, well, yeah, you have to believe it. And it's like, okay, do you not see this? Like, it doesn't taste anything like doesn't taste anything like that. It tastes like bread and wine. It tastes like a cracker and
that
and
makes me
Franzia.
want it less. Do you not understand this?
Yeah, right, exactly. And so it just, yeah, and that's what broke me of Catholicism. And I was still a Christian, and then like I was just a non-denominational Christian at that point, and yeah. So we'll get into it more Friday. I don't want to take up too much. I'm gonna save it for Friday. We'll save our stories for Friday.
For sure.
Yeah. How's that?
Yeah,
How's that sound?
'cause
We'll save
I
our stories for
definitely
Friday.
have other stuff
Oh
within.
yeah.
It's like every person who has deconstructed, I think, has stories within stories.
And you remember
And
stuff too.
within
You start to
stories.
recall stuff. Oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah. I got that. I got that.
That's just
Yeah.
nuts. Exactly.
Yeah. So we have we have a guest in the queue. Okay, I wanted to. So a couple of folks asked me some questions, so let me answer those real quick in chat. I'm doing that just because we don't have a lot of guests today, so I'm chill with that. And this has been a pretty chill live, so
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Miguel Ozuna said, "What's your biggest 3 defeaters of Christian faith?" I don't know if I would call them like quote unquote defeaters. I think more it's just something to think about. And the 3 biggest ones, well, the lot of Christianity is the problem of suffering. Now, the interesting thing is that people confuse. Now, the way I do the problem of suffering is different because everybody thinks I'm doing the problem of evil, which I'm not. But I do the problem of suffering, and that's ultimately what is. And if you guys watched all my videos, I've spent months asking the same question. And if you go through all the comments, you will see nobody answers the question. And that question is, what moral principle makes it good to allow preventable suffering when you can stop it? And would you accept that from a human? And no good answers came out of that. No answers came out of that. Nobody can answer that question. And to this day, nobody can. That's one. So the problem with suffering, lining up with God's all omni attributes. And then, the one I like when people come at me with morality, well, that one, you just test it in the Bible. You just pick something out of the Bible and you're like, okay, what makes this good? and then you just sit and wait for the answer, and it's never a good answer. Never a good answer. So I'd say that's 2. And then the third one is, happened what, last week or yesterday? No contradictions in the Bible. And then you find a contradiction in the Bible. And then you wait for the mental gymnastics. So we awarded a gold medal yesterday, didn't we, Ember?
Oh yeah, yep,
Played the song and everything.
He was definitely an interesting character. Thank you, 7 Lemons.
7 Lemons is here. It's good to see you, 7 Lemons. So that's what I would say. And so maybe not defeaters, but just answers back, right? All right, let's bring up World Defier again. I don't quite remember what we talked about, so this will be like almost a good conversation. It'll be a new conversation. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, man? I thanks you for having me on again. I love listening to your program, even though we're on different sides. But last time I was on, we had such a good conversation, and I had to cut it short because my girl was there, and I just got home. So thanks for having me again.
I remember that happening. I don't remember exactly what road we were going down, but we'll get there.
Right.
We'll get there. Okay.
Yeah. It was good. It was really good. And I was like, I enjoy challenging conversations. I also enjoy the fact you say, I don't know, because the same thing I believe more Christians should say instead of coming up with something that sounds stupid is just say, look, I just don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I think that's better. Yeah, that's a better answer. Sometimes why does God allow this? I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I believe it was my syllogism we left off on.
Oh, okay.
But,
okay. Let me see if I still
yeah,
got that.
yeah.
Yeah. You had a syllogism.
Was,
well, we're kind of doing it a
yeah.
different way today. We're doing a little bit something a little different.
No problem.
And reason,
Yeah,
but I mean,
challenge me.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think then. Okay, I think this is this the greatness in reality is greater than existence in the mind? Is that your syllogism? Is that it?
No.
Or
It was
now,
life from life.
Life from life, intelligence only from
Yeah.
intelligence. I'm
Yeah.
among intelligent things that exist. There's an intelligent mind behind the universe. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me do it this way because this will be the challenge because I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I was kind of going on and on about there's actually 3 levels to this to convince me to worship your God, and that is number 1.
Right.
You demonstrate a God exists, which let's just say your syllogism does that. Let's just say, okay, you're right. There is an intelligent mind behind the universe. Now the next one is, how do you know that intelligent mind is your God? That's the next piece.
Oh, that's a good one. I did a paper on that. That's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go?
Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I would say this. Out of everything that I understand to be, say there's deism. At least we know there's deism. So if there's deism, which one is it? There's a plethora of religions, a plethora of different ideologies and philosophies that go with this and worship. How could it be? And I broke it down to this: that I like how you believe in morality in that sense, in the fabric of the universe according to logic, which is something I agree with. I believe it's subjective according to a mind. Course in that sense. I believe in that sense it would have to be, in other words, if there is a God, if there is right, it has to do with the sense of justice, right? So it has to be right and wrong, and these things, or I'll say good and evil, and this thing, whatever it is, absolutely cannot be in the polytheistic world, and it cannot be in the pantheistic world.
Okay.
So it excludes 2 of those, and the reason why is because the polytheistic gods pretty much are human, Frigga, Freya, Thor, or whether you want to go to Jupiter, and you know what I mean, it wouldn't matter. They're relative. They die. Yeah, okay. They die, they argue, they lie, they steal, they cheat. So they don't have justice in them. So it has to be perfect. So, and it can't be pantheism because I myself are imperfect. I can't be God. Therefore, I roughly conclude, well, pantheism can't be it because if the universe is full of errors and this God is just, he is good, and he has no errors, it can't be that. So I would say, okay, it has to go to monotheism. And monotheism, I'd say, there's mainly 3 main ones right now, but I would say there's a select few of maybe like 10 plethora of that
Mm-hmm.
I could think of, which is kind of odd, but those are also full of like their gods in the monotheistic world are usually relatively full of errors themselves. So I would say it boils down to the main three. And out of the main three, I believe it self asserts that it would exclude Islam because of the Islamic dilemma. The Islamic dilemma basically certified for me that it can't be Islam. So Islam is referring to, you know, the Judaistic Old Testament and the Christian Judeo-Christian
Okay.
New Testament. That's secured. So I had to be between the two, and I would say, okay, if it's between the two, I believe that the Old Testament holds weight, New Testament holds weight. Which one holds more weight, and does it fulfill this? And after reading through and through from Genesis to Revelation several times, and reading different philosophies, love Aristotle and Plato, but reading these things, it just concluded to me most rationally, not absolutely now. I remember I said not absolutely now,
Yeah, you
but
did. You
most
did leave
rationally
room there. Yeah,
yeah,
you did leave room.
yeah. There's definitely room. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
that's true.
yeah, I will not say absolutely. I will say most rationally to me, the weight is on Christianity to be upheld as far as its God goes.
Okay. And now that being the case,
Yeah.
because I know you did say like, hey, you know, like for example, Greek gods, you know, there was a lot of self-interest. They lie, they cheat, they do this, they do that.
Yeah.
Okay, all that stuff. Yeah, it's like more like a soap opera, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like more
Yeah,
like a soap
yeah,
opera. That's what it
yeah.
feels like to me when I read like about like Greek mythology and all that stuff. And when we take that into account, world, and then like we take this God, we can take instances of your God and
Mhm.
see if it holds up to moral scrutiny, right? We could do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just take
That's
it
a
like
good one. The moral fabric is a really good
moral
argument there to
fabric. Yeah.
argue. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I kind of look at it like this. Because I was actually getting into the problem of suffering. That's what I call it, and it's a little bit different how
Yeah.
I do it. Okay. And like I was saying, believers were struggling to kind of respond to this. So it'd be interesting to see what you have to say. Essentially the way I take it is, well, first I start off with, do you think that do you think that all suffering is necessary?
All suffering encompassing absolutely. Ooh, that's a good one. I would say that as some form it would have to be for some reason that I'm unaware of.
For some
And
reason
I
you're
don't.
unaware of. Okay.
Yeah. There's got to be because obviously suffering exists,
Mhm.
and I understand it's not the problem of evil, but it's
Nope.
like the problem of evil is I couldn't explain that in totality either because these philosophical problems we're actually discussing right now are not just theological ones. So it's really cool that we're discussing this.
Yeah, it's more of a philosophical bent to it. And so
Yeah.
if you look at the problem of suffering, and if we take an instance, because you said, well, there has to be a reason for it, right?
Right.
And does that include animals?
I would say yes. Yes.
Okay.
I think the whole total decline of suffering in general. Yeah, I think that absolutely includes.
Okay.
I think it affects everything, the whole
It
entire
affects
fabric
everything?
of
Okay.
creation. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. And then
I'll
now
say,
would you attribute that to the fall?
I would, yes, but I would say which one first.
Okay.
Because in Judeo-Christian principle, you have two falls.
Mhm.
I believe it wasn't
Fair.
complete. I believe, matter of fact, the problem that I cannot solve, I don't understand, is why would God create a good angel knowing he was going to go bad in the way he did? So I couldn't describe that, but it goes into that. I would say it starts from that particular
See,
fall.
that's
I would
honest,
believe it
man.
would be.
I'll give
Yeah.
that to you. That's honest. And
Yeah.
so I think, okay, so then let's just limit it to the second fall, because even after the first fall, okay, like Lucifer falling, there was according to the Bible, there was, basically a perfect world, right? Adam and Eve were there.
Right.
I mean, that's so Adam and Eve were there. It was supposed to be perfect. They disobeyed God, and then that was, so the fall of man, I guess maybe that's just the best way I can put it, the fall of man. So we
Yeah.
take it from that point. So all the suffering after the fall of man, you would say there's some reason it's necessary, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, there's some reason it's necessary. Yeah.
But you can't really say why, which is fair, and I appreciate
Yeah.
the intellectual honesty about that. That's fair, because I'll tell you,
Yeah.
man, there seems to be an issue with like Christians, especially when they feel like they have to explain that, and it doesn't just it just makes it worse. They just twist themselves into knots.
Yeah.
So appreciate
Yeah,
that you're doing that.
I've done it. I used to do it myself in a knot until I realized I had to listen to myself. Listen, there are things in this universe that we just don't understand
Yeah.
that happen, and this problem, like I said, doesn't affect theologically. I believe it's best explained theologically, but I don't feel it's just to that.
Okay.
I believe this is something that we all gotta face. You know,
Yeah.
why is there death? Why is there this? Why is there suffering? The problem of suffering is a real good philosophical concept that needs to be discussed more.
Oh yeah, and you know what? And don't get me wrong, I've read, I've read Plan Ninja. I made a video on this, so if you need the receipts, you can just go through my profile and you'll find the video. It's like maybe 5-6 videos back. I read,
Yeah.
like a complete library of books on this, and they all talk about the possibility of suffering. But what I'm aiming at is what is the justification for all suffering. So like here's
Ooh,
a scenario.
that's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So here's a scenario world. You have a fawn in the forest, right? A fawn. And if you know
Mhm.
anything about fawns, when the mother goes away, when the doe goes away, the fawn just sits there. It waits for mama to come back, right? So let's
Yep.
just say this fawn is in the middle of the forest waiting for mama to come back, and a lightning strike hits and lights the forest on fire all around the fawn. So there's no way, and it blazes, and there's no way mom can get to the doe without killing herself. And there's no way this doe is going to move. So then would you say then, because the smoke inhalation, the fire is going to consume this fawn, would you say that this fawn suffered when it dies?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so are you still sticking to what you're saying, that you can't explain why that's necessary?
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't explain why that would be
Fair.
necessary. Why we'll say if there's a God of the universe and he throws a lightning bolt down, I couldn't tell you why
Yeah.
he let that happen. Why
Yeah.
does God allow bad things to happen? I couldn't answer that.
Yeah.
But I said my only justification for it, the only justification I've come up with, is that because there is true justice, one of God's characters, is that one day he will make these things right. How that is possible, I don't know.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and so then you would say then, so that sounds like what you're saying is that whole scenario I described, that's an unjust thing that happened, right? In which we could say, yeah, it sounds like it, because that
I
fawn
would
didn't
say
deserve that, right?
I would say all suffering is not unjust, but there is a lot of unjust
There is
suffering.
some unjust suffering.
Yeah, and
Fair.
that would be one of the things, until it's proven to me that it's not unjust, I would say it's
agree.
unjust.
Ooh, that's
You know what
an
I mean? It has to
important
be proven to me.
distinction you've made too. That's an important distinction you've
Yeah.
made, because if let's just step away from that scenario for a moment. Yeah, but we're going to
Yeah.
keep it on the table. We're just going to step away. We're just going to look at another scenario, just as just to kind of bring home this point that you just brought up about the
Yeah.
justification for it. So like, for example, if we discovered that there was a person, like you discovered in your neighborhood, or let's just say like your across the street neighbor, and the cops are all over the house and they're leading this person out in handcuffs. And then you find out, from some of the other neighbors, oh, they found a basement in this guy's house and he was torturing kids. He's been doing it for years. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, just by the way, like the second time we've talked, you seem like a pretty level-headed person that would disgust you, right? That'd be like, oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't say to that guy, he must have had a good reason, so let's let him go, right? You wouldn't ever say
Right.
that.
Right.
He
Ever,
would have
never.
to and if he said to any of us, oh, I had a good reason for doing that. And then you'd be like, well, what was the reason? And he's like, well, I
Yeah,
had a
you'd
good
have
reason.
to. Your reasoning would have to be really high.
Really, really good, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And so it is, he has the burden of proof to demonstrate that he had a really good justified reason for torturing these kids.
Right.
And
like maybe they were all demons and we just had to
we
look
just
like
didn't know.
kids.
Yeah,
Right,
they're all,
right,
he
right.
figured out they're all sociopaths or something like that,
Right.
right? Something like that, something crazy like that. But even then, in my moral framing, even then, that's not good. But he would have to have a really, really good reason, right? But he would have to, and he would have to convince us that was a justified reason. Not only that he had a reason, but it's justified. So,
Right.
So that's how far you have to go. So now let's turn back to the fawn in the forest.
Right.
Because you would agree then that if this God is all omni, he has the power to save this fawn if he wanted to, without any harm to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if he has that power to do it and he doesn't, how does that make him good?
Right. There would have to be a justification for preventing evil.
Yes.
Which, and that
Or
justification
stopping it, right?
for-
Or stopping it.
Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
either preventing it or stopping it. Yeah.
we could even say this. Here's a good one. This one's got me. There's something that happened in Richmond, Virginia in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into detail for TikTok purposes. Not going to try to get flagged or anything. But it was a real vile act that someone committed. And to this, kind of what you were saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be flat out honest with you. There's no way that I could think of right now or know why God or a just God could justify allowing something like that to happen. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I say my only hope is, but the only hope in what I have is the evidence for it that I would say is that one day it will be made right in a way in which I don't understand.
Okay.
And I liken it to like when you're a kid and you're saying to your mom or your dad, I want to, and they're like, no, 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 no. And they drag you off and you don't know why, you're kicking and screaming. And later on, there's something like that happened. I found out I was in real bad danger and didn't know it. You know what I mean? But I didn't find that out till like years later. So I can only liken it to on that level. And I'll be honest with you, I couldn't answer that question on why God does not act on certain things like that. I just don't know.
That's fair. Now,
yeah.
Now, see then, and then when we bring in that analogy you made, which is actually a pretty good one, you know, let's just say you're about to run up as a kid to a ride, you know, at the carnival, and then your dad suddenly just grabs your collar and drags you away, and just like, no, we got to go, and you're like, but wait, and come to find out later. It's, you know, the carny's on party favors and it's super dangerous and he saw a bolt loose and all that other stuff. Just didn't have time to explain, you know? Yeah.
Right.
Understood. I guess but there is a part of it though that we are finite. Like our minds are finite and our knowledge is finite, but this God's knowledge is infinite.
Absolutely.
And so then this God should find a way to be able to tell us, to let us know, to kind of explain this, right? He should have the capacity to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, there was a story in Genesis. I think you'll know where I'm coming from, especially being ex-Christian yourself. But one of the things is that he says Balaam, the story of Balaam and the talking donkey, like for 3 days he's sitting out there or something like that, and he's talking to me. He's like, you don't understand. Why do you keep striking me? I'm letting you live right now. I was going to kill you. He's so mad and frustrated why this thing won't move. And little does he know he was being protected, not prevented. And I liken things to kind of like that. And it doesn't answer things fully. It really doesn't. But I think it's a snip of something revealed larger in the vast epic of suffering, the problem of suffering.
Okay. And so then when I get back around to this, I think though that if we don't have a good reason to justify why God allows suffering or doesn't prevent it when he has the power to either prevent it or stop it, how can we say this God is good and just?
You know what? I think that's also a struggle sometimes too as well. You know, when he talks about this, I love the Psalms of David. When he talks about this, how long will you let them stray? You know what I mean? Like struggles. And that's funny is it's of course we go to a real good one there is, you know, we talk about Job. Job was not nearly, and Job didn't know why all these things were happening, but Job was like the idea of it, the storyline of it, or the mystery of it, you would say is that Job wasn't nearly more pissed about it as other people were
Mm-hmm.
like we are. We're more probably more aggravated about it than they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as it goes. But Job was like, no, 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 it's fine. But in a lot of things I can't explain to that. It's beyond me. I don't know. I do know well, I'll say this. What I have reason to believe is that God will one day make this right if he is a true and good God and
If he
righteous and
is.
good and
Yeah.
just. If, right. So we use that word. So I would say in that realm of if he is good, he will make this right. And one day we will understand it. It says, for we will know him, for we will see him face to face. Like,
Okay.
can you explain this? So yeah.
Okay. And so you have that, you've kind of have that belief, going forward. And so then
Yeah.
what if you found out that this God just enjoyed torturing people and this actually was an evil God? Because then how
Ooh,
would you be able to
that's a good one.
distinguish
I
between
guess,
now? Yeah. Like, wouldn't you want to know
yeah,
that
I
now?
wouldn't. Oh, absolutely. I would give you that 100%. That's a real honest one. And the idea is I would not worship something that's evil. In other words,
Okay.
I would not want to worship an evil God. I would reject the evil idea of evil in this sense of evil, of good and evil. You know what I mean? For example, the word Satan meaning adversary,
Mm-hmm.
in this sense, or whatever, he's an adversary of God, which would be good, so in that sense, whatever. Yes, I would reject that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of where the crux, that's one big piece of it for
Yeah.
me is that if
Yeah.
like you're, and I appreciate that you're honest because I really, really enjoy that. The problem for me is I am totally with you on that. Like, I don't have the answers for this either.
Yeah.
I don't think it is worth the existential risk to, if I
Right.
can't demonstrate that this God is good, because I think a good God is worthy of worship. I think you would agree with me. An evil God is not worthy of worship.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Anything good is worthy of praise on that
Yeah.
half. So yes,
Praise, worship,
absolutely.
all that stuff. So an
Yeah.
evil God is not worthy of praise. I cannot
Yeah.
risk praising what could possibly be an evil God. It has to be ruled out. And if it can't be ruled out,
Right.
it's better, like for me, at least from an integrity standpoint, to just say, nope, can't do it. I won't do it.
Right. No,
Does that make
if it's
sense?
it makes you make absolute sense. I am telling you, I've had some really good conversations and some really bad conversations in this realm of our thinking and our philosophy.
Yeah.
And I love the fact how, remember our first conversation, you said we're not going to combat you and all this stuff. We're going to have a real
No,
dialogue,
absolutely.
intellectual
Yeah.
dialogue.
Right.
You and your guests here, I love listening to your show. I
Oh,
love it.
thanks. I
I
appreciate
absolutely
you.
love it. I really do. I followed you, man. I will be in touch again with you shortly on this.
Wow.
And we left off in this part here, and I'll remember it, and I'll come back when I can. Thank you so much for having me. And
Yeah.
you is blessing to speak with you and your people. I love
Oh,
it.
yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate the honest and cordial conversation. I really do. So enjoy the rest of your day.
It was really good.
All right.
Really good. Thank
Take
you,
care,
man.
world.
I'm
All
at
right.
peace. Yep. Bye.
All right. So yeah, it'd be interesting because I know he had to go, but it would be interesting to find out, like why hang on, like why still, like if you're not sure that this God is good, like what gets you from I'm not sure to okay, I'll still worship this God anyway. That'd be interesting to find out. That would be really, really interesting to find out. Because see, I don't think I can't make that leap. And maybe it's not a huge leap for him, but it seems like a big canyon for me. That I can't, yeah. And even and you NJ, fear, maybe. However, I remember wrestling with that fear too. And I think I said it earlier. There was this fear of what if I'm wrong, right? And I think at some point what overcomes that is just thinking, man, if this God is evil and I just don't know it, I can't, like, how, like, because it doesn't seem like it's the morally right thing to do to worship an evil God at the end of the day, right? And so I cannot take that moral risk. It's too much of a moral risk. That's the problem. And so just can't do it. But see, I enjoy those type of conversations. They're not as exciting. I know for chat, it's not as exciting for you. But see, you see how much easier it is when a person's like, I really can't answer that question for you. I really, really can't. And that's fair. I'm not going to, rake somebody over the coals with that. Yeah, that's a great question. Why spend your whole life worshiping something that won't even acknowledge you? Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. Yeah, Miguel, those are the best conversations. So I like those type of conversations because, when they're just intellectually honest, and I can just at least say to the person, this is where I'm at. And I'm not trying to convert the person or anything like that, but I really would like to know. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish more Christians were like that. More believers were like that. Because you don't have to give an answer for everything. Now, however, there is a however to that. Because if we didn't get to the part where it says in 1 Peter 3, verse 15, make an accounting for the hope that's within you. I don't know how we come to know. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty good way to say it too. So I think that, oh wait. Ragizi, Elizabeth, saw Leah the Godless. And by the way, if you are not following Girls Gone Godless, you really ought to, because they are a fantastic group of women who are doing a great job with, oh, there you are. Well, here, can you come up for a minute? Can you come up for a sec? I'll just invite you up. These are my peeps. Hello.
Hello.
Aaliyah, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm actually out on a walk, so it's actually pretty windy where I am.
Is it? Okay.
It is. So it sounds like I might be in a wind tunnel or something, but I swear
that's
I'm
all right.
outside and I swear I'm not driving.
Okay.
But if anyone wants to hear Trust's story, if you go listen to the God is a Neckbeard episode of Girls Gone Godless, you will learn that Mr. Trust, Mr. Verify, has read the Bible 307 times cover to cover.
It goes up every time she comes up and tells us, by the way.
Every single time. And it will continue to go up every single time because that's just how I feel about the subject, honestly.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of crazy. It's dedication.
Honestly, like it's been true for me too. Like the more that I read the Bible, the more that I'm like, I don't like this guy, this Bible God.
I don't like this guy. Yeah.
No, he's mean. He's not a nice guy.
We
Second
have to
Lemons
talk
notes,
someday.
he said 400. We do.
Well,
407 times.
407 times, yes. We have to talk someday about when I read the Book of Mormon, Pearl of Great Price, and the Doctrines and Covenants.
Oh.
Now, it was a long time ago, and it was one time through.
Oh, no. I'm sorry for you.
I got through it. It's okay.
Once is enough. I'm so sorry.
Now, that was a wild ride.
It's not. That's worse. I think that. So if you ever decide to pick up the Book of Mormon again, every time it says, and so it is, or whatever like introductory verse that they use in a lot of scripture, just swap that out for I shit you not.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say take a shot. 'Cause I think
no. Oh God, no.
10 pages in, I'd just be done. Yeah.
No, that would be
lightweight anyway.
That would be really bad. But no, just say I shit you. I shit you not every time they say. Oh gosh, I can't remember what the. It's been a long time since I've read the Book of Mormon.
Oh, and the
like
behold.
10 years,
I remember seeing behold a lot too. And behold.
Oh yes. And behold, or or and so it was, or
So it
something. But
was.
if you
Yep.
do it, it
Yep.
becomes really. I mean, it's comedy anyway, but it
Yeah.
becomes really funny.
Yeah, it does. It
But
does.
I'd love to tell you.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd love to tell you all about the weird Mormon stuff, like the baptisms for the dead and all the temple stuff. Like that's always a fun combo.
Yeah. We definitely have to talk about that sometime. That's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a fun one. And it came to pass.
That's it.
Thank
Uncle Smeg
you,
said it.
Uncle
It did
Smeg.
pass. That's
And it
it.
came to
That's the
pass. I
one.
shit
Thank
you
you.
not.
Thank you.
And it came to
Yeah.
pass. Yeah. I shit you not.
And I
But
shit you not.
but the
Yeah.
behold for me was like when I like with my family, like like on a big old get together, and then like you always got that family, at least I do, I always got that family member that's like look. It's like they always have to say, and they have to say it like 6 times, right? Look, okay, so I was going down the
Yes.
store and look. And that's
But there's also like
take
there's the
behold.
hand motion. Like the hand gets higher every time with
Yes,
the look.
look.
Yeah. No, I know
Look.
that family member. Yeah.
We have that kind of that similar family member, yeah. That's
Oh,
how I
indeed we do.
Yes, that was like the Mormon way of saying that. Behold was the Mormon way of saying
Yes.
that.
Yes. And it came to pass, and I shit you not. Behold, behold this, behold it, behold,
it.
behold, behold
Yep.
this.
Behold. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh man. But yes,
Yeah.
I left a
Sounds like you
message.
had some good conversations today.
Yeah. It was almost all deconstructed people. It was just one
Yeah.
one believer. Yeah. So I'm a little disappointed. I was
Yeah.
like, maybe this is the day I will get converted, but it's looking less and less
Maybe.
likely.
You're still an atheist, huh?
Yeah, still an atheist. Actually, Lobes and I did reconstruct yesterday for about 40 seconds.
Oh,
A
that's
guy,
too long.
yeah, he did reconstruct us, but then we were like, well, wait a minute. And then we deconstructed like immediately. So,
Oh, thank goodness.
almost,
Thank God.
yeah. It was about 40 seconds
Yeah.
where we were believers again.
Yeah.
So
Don't
see,
do
it's
that.
possible.
Don't just stay out of it.
Yeah, I know. It would be
Anything's I guess anything's possible if you just believe.
anything's possible if you believe. But yes, I know it would disappoint a lot of you, but I'm here on a quest for truth. That's ultimately
Yeah.
what it is.
That's why you're Mr. Trust, Mr. Verify.
Trust but verify. Exactly. So you get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
I do.
You do.
That's
You
why
do.
that's why you're one of us, because you also get it.
Yeah, and
You're
see,
an
this is
honorary girl gone
exactly.
godless.
I'm an honorary G, and this is why
Yes.
everybody has to follow G cubed, 3G.
Yes.
Exactly.
3G. There's 3 of us. There's 3 Gs. We've taken a little bit of a hiatus on recording and releasing episodes right now, but we'll have an episode out on Sunday with CBJ, actually.
Oh, that's going to be
so we
interesting.
interviewed him and his co-author.
Okay.
And yeah, so I think it'll be it'll be funny. Yeah.
How big was his cowboy hat? Just I don't want you to spoil it for us, but how big was it?
10. It was at least 10 gallons.
At least 10 gallons? Wow. Okay.
At least 10 gallons.
Okay.
It was hard to tell since it was over video, but that's what I would assume. As a former Texan, I used to live in Texas.
Okay.
And
we're relying on
that's
your
what I would
expertise
think.
here. Yeah. Because I know you're a former Texan. So that's why
Yeah,
we're relying on your expertise. Okay.
I
We'll
appreciate
take your
it.
word for it.
Yeah. All right.
We'll take your word for it.
Trust me, but you should verify by watching the episode of
Oh, I
Girls
will.
Gone Godless featuring CBJ. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
will.
it'll be good.
Okay. This Sunday.
All right.
Sunday. Very good.
This Sunday. Yes.
Very good.
Yep. It's better than church. It fills all your church holes.
And I haven't forgotten. I still do owe you, to be a co-host up here. Wasn't
Yes.
100% sure. Is it just
Yeah.
you or is it the whole crew? I'm good either way.
I think it's just that one's just for me.
Okay.
I'm not gonna rope everyone else into my shenanigans.
Okay, that's fine. Well, because the other thing is that I don't want it to be like, Yoko and the Beatles situation, because we don't want to like
Certainly
ruin
not.
a good thing, right?
Certainly not.
Yeah,
The,
I want-
the 3 of us are bonded by tattoos and
okay.
friendship of 10 plus
Oh, it goes
years,
deeper
and
than
it's
that. Okay.
Oh yeah. Noe and I have known each other in real life before we knew each other on the internet. We've been friends for like 10 years.
Oh, okay. I'm not worried
Yeah,
about it though.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
it's not going to be a Yoko situation then. Okay, see that
Certainly
puts
not.
my
Certainly not.
okay, it puts my fears at ease. Okay, yes, absolutely.
All right.
So yeah, we'll
Do some
totally.
do some sins today. Do something godless. Do
Okay,
something heathenistic today.
that's for
That's
everybody.
my
Do
advice
something
always. That's for
godless
everybody.
today. Yes, everybody do something
Please,
godless
every
today.
day.
Every
Or
day.
like do an extra sin. Just an extra sinny sin.
Just an extra sinny sin. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Okay, just for you, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I will do an extra
Well,
sin.
I'm gonna when I get back from my walk, I'm gonna have an espresso martini. That's 2 times the sin as a
Oh,
former
there you
woman.
go. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. According to, well, yeah. So no temple
According
for
to the
you.
word
That's
of
good.
wisdom.
Yep, to the Lord of Wisdom.
That's fine.
Catherine,
That's fine. Oh,
you're sacrificing, right? You're sacrificing.
I know. It's really
It's
for
big of you.
everybody else. It's not just for me. Yeah. Yeah.
See. Do you guys heard it?
Yeah.
Aaliyah is otherworldly. She's thinking of everybody else when she has that
I am.
espresso martini.
Espresso martini.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's thinking
Yeah.
about
It's
yeah.
March, so it's the month of martinis in my mind.
Martini March.
Yeah. It's
Interesting.
also my birthday month, so it's
Hey.
it's a good month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Very
Yep,
good. Very
yep.
good.
All right. Well, I will let you get back to it. I'm going to go finish walking my walk so I can be a sinful heathen with my espresso
Outstanding.
martini in a little bit.
Yes. You'll be
Yeah.
a sinful heathen with great lungs. Like, you'll just
Absolutely.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, it's always
I
a
want to take
pleasure,
care of your
Aaliyah.
cardiovascular health. Yeah.
Yes,
Same.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's always a pleasure, Aaliyah. You're a peach. You're
Likewise.
fantastic. All right. See ya.
All right. I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.
Oh yeah. So I so love the Girls Gone Godless. They're fantastic people. So fun to talk to and personable and good people, charitable, and such heathens too. Such heathens. So yeah, you got to follow them. You got to check them out if you haven't. If you don't know who they are, you absolutely got to check them out. So, that's great. So we have I've got a future co-host lined up, and we're gonna carve it. We're gonna carve it up. So that's fantastic. I'm happy to hear that. And I will be back on their show soon too. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So, but yeah, I think it's interesting. Yeah, not many people, just one person to come up, and it was really to finish a conversation that we had the other day. One believer to come up, and yeah, I'm looking for people to convince me. That's what I'm looking for. I am an atheist. I am a non-resistant non-believer. Can you convince me that your God is real? So now, Catherine Allen, that would depend. Now, if that's God is personal, aligning with him should be up to each individual. Well, see, if you're a Christian, that's not what the Bible says. It does say that it's your job if you are a Christian. You haven't said you are, but if you are, it does say in there that you have to minister. You have to make disciples of all the nations and to teach how to obey God's commands, Jesus's commands. And that is what it says. So it's actually a Christian's duty, to obligation even, to minister to people. Let your little light shine. No. We're not saying forced conformity. It's to make disciples of all the nations. So when it says that, and it says in 1 Peter 3, chapter 15, it says to be prepared to make a full accounting of anyone who demands of the hope that's within you. And that's what I'm doing. I'm demanding that. It is a demand. So you have to do it upon demand. It's a command by God. So no Christian is exempt from that. Well, yeah. So that's what I'm asking you to do. Make an accounting for the hope that's within you. So minister to me. Convince me that this God is the one to worship. So you have to minister to me. You have to make me a disciple. How would you make me a disciple? Because I'm asking. I am right here. I'm asking. So that's what has to be done. And I'm not saying, I don't know. But I mean, if you're committed to your God, this is what you got to do. Yeah, convert me. I'm here. I know it would make Aaliyah very sad. She would probably cry in her espresso martini if I got converted today, but I think another espresso martini would get her out of that. So she would just have two. But it would be a sad moment. But that's okay, this is my soul we're talking about, right? This is my eternal salvation we're talking about. And so you can't just say, well, you have to go figure it out. It's kind of your duty to do that. Like, don't you want to save my soul? Like, that's what I'm here. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for someone to save my soul. If I have one. Like, you got to convince me I have one first, but I got one. Yeah. And see, truth never lies. That is, I don't think you're going to ever convince anybody of that. Don't give that which is holy unto the dogs. And so I guess you want to go to hell with me because your Bible also says you shouldn't do that to people. So if you're going to call me a dog, then see, you're just making excuses. So I don't think you're a real Christian. I really don't think you are. I don't think you have enough faith to do it. I think you're one of the ones that Jesus warned us about, one of the hypocrites that go out in front of, yeah, let's talk scripture. Come on up. So minister to me, convince me, make me a disciple. Because that's what your job is. So do your job as a Christian. So don't hide in the comments and call people dogs and talk down to them. That's a sin. That's going to put you in hell. So that's what I mean. I don't think you're a real Christian. I think you're here just to look down on people. I don't think you really have faith. So I think we found a fake Christian, everybody. No guest requests yet. Must not be a real Christian, so we can just disregard whatever Truth Never Lies says. So what do we have? But yeah, I think that it's funny now because now they're silent. Nothing to say. So I'm here. I'm a non-resistant non-believer. How would you convince me? I'm a lost sheep. Pull me in. Yeah, I'm a non-resistant non-believer. You see, that's just a lie. You're lying on me. So you're not. So your name is Truth Never Lies, but you just sat here and lied. You don't want to see what all the Bible says. Yeah, I'm telling you, make me a disciple. So then show me what the Bible says. Demonstrate it to me. Truth Never Lies. That is your job. Your job is to make an accounting from anyone who demands it of the hope that is within you. So how is that an accounting of the hope that is within you? How is that an accounting? That is your job. It doesn't matter if there's no convincing me. That is your job, sir. So how do you convince me? How do you minister to me? It is still your job to minister to me. So do that. But see, you're not really a believer, so you can't do it. That's too bad. You're not a true believer. So we need true believers, apparently, that need to come up here. Do we need to teach you truth never lies about what the Bible says? Do you not know what the Bible says? Is that what the problem is? Is that your issue? You don't know what your own Bible says? Because we can teach you. I'll tell you. I'll show you what it says. Here, let's do that. First Peter 3:15. Let's see what it says. And you should be up here after I read this, right? What does that say? Truth never lies. But in your heart, sanctify Christ as your Lord. Always be ready to make your defense to anyone who demands from you an accounting for the hope that is within you. So, I'm demanding an accounting from you. No, you don't that's not how you do it. You need to make an accounting. So insulting me, how is that accounting? Is that in line with what your Bible says to do? I know what Proverbs 1:22 says. Is that in line with what your Bible says to do? Truth never lies. Yes or no? Yeah, request up and read it to me. So let's read it together. Yeah, so you're just here to insult people. You're not a true Christian. So that's why you can't give an accounting for the hope that's within you, because you don't have that hope. You don't actually believe in your God. You just want to insult people and make them feel bad about themselves. That's the only thing you're here to do. But you're not here to share the hope that's within you. You're not here to minister to people. You're not here to make disciples out of all of us. You're just here to insult people and put them down. I didn't know you weren't a Christian. You're the one quoting the Bible. Okay, so if you're not a Christian, type out, I denounce Jesus Christ as my personal savior. Type that out if you're not a Christian. So type out, just type it for all to see, 10 toes. I denounce Jesus as my personal savior, truth never lies. Just say it. If you're really not a Christian. Because I called it. You said you weren't a Christian. I said you're not really a Christian. I called it. So just say that. Just say those words. Just type it out in chat. I denounce Jesus Christ as my personal savior. Just say that. I denounce any atheist as anything to actually listen to or take seriously. Yet you're here listening to and responding to us. Because see, you could just move on. You could just move on to another live. You don't even have to listen. I denounce Jesus Christ as my personal savior. Jack O'Rail. See how easy that was? It's just like that. Miss Tangle. See? Everyone's giving you can even copy and paste it. Truth never lies. Just copy and paste what they said. Yeah. So, Bob, if that's the case, give an accounting. I'm demanding from you, Bob, an accounting for the hope that's within you. That's what it says right above my head. So I'm demanding that from you, Bob. So come up here and minister to me, Bob. That's all you got to do. Just minister to me. Okay, looks like we have somebody who wants to minister to me, who wants to convert me. So let's go. Let's see if you can do it. King E.
Yeah, man, at least I'll try my best.
How's it going, King E?
How's it going, man?
Hey, good. Just for TikTok purposes, are you at least 18?
I am at the age of 18, yes, sir. I am.
Fantastic. All right. And which religion are you? Christian, Muslim, Judaism?
I know I can't really classify myself in a religion box, to be honest with you, but I believe in a higher source. Yes.
Higher source? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you convince me of this higher source?
Well, first and foremost, I would ask the question, where do your morals come from?
Okay. And my morals come from the laws of logic. You familiar with the laws of logic?
I'm not really familiar with the laws of logic.
Okay. So they are intrinsic to our reality. It's the law of identity, the law of non-contradiction, and the law of excluded middle. So law of identity is, A equals A, apple equals apple, 1 equals 1, right? Law of non-contradiction, P and not P. And then the law of excluded middle is two things can't be true, two opposite things can't be true at the same time, right? So this shirt can't be gray and not gray at the same time.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just asking where your morals came from.
Well, I'm getting there. Yeah. So I'm getting there. So, so I go by what's called the principle of generic consistency. And so what I hold is that we can derive objectivity from morality based on the laws of logic. So, and the pillars that we hold, we have are flourishing and freedom. So freedom and well-being. And moral agents are entitled to the greatest amount of freedom and well-being. And so if we commit acts against other moral agents or sentient beings that remove their freedom and well-being, we are violating the law of non-contradiction. Therefore, it makes it immoral. So that's what makes it objective.
Do you feel anything? Is there a feeling behind that?
Of course. Yeah. So now, how does any of this demonstrate like a higher power for you?
Well, to me, that just, okay, so something like, you can't really, the emotion of love, you can't really describe it, right, in words. So, you're logically thinking, trying to figure out the answer, but what I'm saying is, I feel like everyone has, consciousness for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Something that, do you believe in that? Do you believe in consciousness?
Well, of course, yeah. We have scientific evidence for it. Yeah.
Is it a physical thing? What is it?
Depends what school of thought you're from. I'm a naturalist, so I would say no, it's not a physical thing.
It's not a physical thing. So, okay, nope. Well, so it's non-physical, but it exists. So,
okay. Not sure how that demonstrates a higher power, though.
Well, and then let me, I could go to evidence showing near-death experience stories of people all across the world who talk about what they experience.
Now, what of all the people? Because I can pull up several people in my chat here who have had NDEs but didn't see anything.
Okay.
So wouldn't that be evidence of no God then, right?
Well, maybe people, just different situations. I mean,
how would we be able to distinguish it? Because we also have scientific evidence that NDEs occur. There's strong correlation to an increase of carbon dioxide in the body, and I forget the word for it. Hyperapnea, I think that's what it's called, and so we have a strong correlation to that. Also, what we have is that neuroscientists have pinpointed where in the brain where NDEs come from. And when there has been a traumatic brain injury to that region of the brain, in every case, what they've found so far is that no NDE has occurred if the person survived the whatever injury that they had. So if they get hit on that part of the head and it's, that part of the brain has been damaged, they don't, in every case, what they found so far, no NDE. So why do you think that is?
So you're telling me that.
Thank you, Aaliyah.
Hypercapnia. That NDE comes from a specific location in the brain?
Yeah. And that when that part of the brain has been traumatized somehow, traumatic brain injury, no NDE.
No NDE. Okay. Well, I mean, I just don't find it a coincidence that all these NDEs have a specific kind of storyline script.
I hear you.
Of very similar things,
I don't know if I'd go so far as to call it as a coincidence. But like I said, there's a correlation to hypercapnia. Large amounts of carbon dioxide in the body, in the brain. Also, you know, more than a coincidence, it seems to me, it's pretty good correlation. An injury to that part of the region of the brain that usually lights up, no NDE. And then the other part of it, though, is how do we explain why a large number of, overwhelmingly, that NDEs line up with your personal beliefs? So if you believe in the Christian God, it's a Christian NDE. If you believe in the Hindu God, it's a Hindu NDE. If you believe in the Muslim God, it's a Muslim NDE. Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Fair
I
answer.
never really,
I like that
never really
answer.
think. Well, here's the thing. I mean, if that, so these people of these religions would, you know, their NDE came out and they said, yeah, I met with my God and he put me into hell or heaven. That's what you're saying? Or
Yeah.
just going up to the white light. That's basically what people are saying, right? That's like the first step.
Yeah. And it, if they see that, because there's some that don't see that, you know, they see like angels or they see people, you know, it just really lines up with what their personal belief is before they die, before their heart stopped, you know? Yeah. And there's, you know, Greek God believers seeing Greek gods, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all down the line. And it's pretty consistent. Not to say that everybody who's Hindu who had an NDE has seen a Hindu NDE, but it's been like overwhelmingly consistent.
Okay, so you're telling me, okay, NDEs may not have an impact, but at least it gives you maybe an idea of, okay, a little bit of data. Okay, we get it. It gives us some sort of clue. I guess what you're saying is our beliefs still play a big part when we're out there in the void.
Our personal beliefs,
okay.
yeah. But it's almost like it just seems to originate in the brain, like it stops at the brain. Like we don't have any evidence that it goes beyond that. I guess that's what I'm driving at.
Okay, well, yeah, and then at the end of the day, you know, people say, hey, you gotta show me facts over feelings. At the end of the day, I trust myself and my own self. I have a feeling of connection with something bigger, something higher, you know, that I'm a part of.
That's fair.
But you know, that's just who I am, I guess.
Oh, that's cool. And I got no problem with that, to be honest with you. I got no problem with that at all. King. Hold on, we'll wait for him to come back. Truth never lies. I'm still here. You're welcome to come up. Notice how you have never come up. But see, I think that's the thing. You're not here to, you're just here to troll. So we shouldn't take you seriously. Truth never lies. I'm right here. Here. As a matter of fact, Truth never lies. I'm going to invite you up right now. I almost guarantee you're not going to accept the request. So come on up. Let's talk. You think I'm running? Come on up. Your invite has been sent. And if you all think I'm lying, I'm going to take a screenshot of it so you guys all can see that I invited Truth Never Lies up. So let's see who's running now. So if you think I'm running, come on up. Let's go. So, so Aaliyah, you'll appreciate this. Like our relative. Look. So we'll bring out Paint. We'll create a new window. Oh, it's not showing for me. Okay, I'm gonna have to save it as an image. All right, we'll just save it as an image. There we go. Truth never lies. Still hasn't accepted my invite. Wonder why that is. How come Truth Never Lies has not accepted my invite? Why is that? Because I did invite him. I invited him up right there. How come he's not taking my invite, everybody? Oh, he ran. He ran. So he left. After accusing me of running. Sitting right here. So come on up. Truth Never Lies. Is Truth Never Lies still in the chat? Let's see. There's 83 of you, so I should be able to find him. He's still here. Oh, yeah, he's still here. So let's just keep this up here for a little bit longer. How come you didn't accept my guest request? Truth Never Lies. You're still here in the chat. Which track shoes do you like the best? Truth Never Lies. Do you like Asics, Saucony's, Nike? So as you see, I invited you. Do you need another Hokas? It's given Hokas. Yeah. Do you need another invite? Is that what it is? I can invite you again. But yeah, I'm right here. So, yeah, I don't think you're serious. So, no need to waste any more time on you. Got awful quiet, though. You got really quiet. And what about Bob? Yeah, Bob is in here too, right? So, Bob, yeah. How about you minister to me? I'm right here, Bob. Here, I'll invite you up too. So you're a soldier of Christ. I am ripe for the picking. So here, I'll invite you up too. Come on up. I'm here to be ministered to. I am here to be made a disciple of, Bob. What? So, come on up, Bob. Soldier of Christ, you. Come on. I'm here to be ministered to be made a disciple. So come on up. Let's, I'm demanding accounting of the hope that's within you, Bob. Teach me how to obey Jesus' commands, as he says in Matthew 28. So teach me. Unless you're not really a Christian. So I'm getting skeptical by the minute. Because if you really were a Christian, you just come right up and minister to me like you're supposed to do. That's your job. So it would be, yeah, teach all of us. I think it wouldn't just be me. See, Chrissy Chris, Forever Atheist, Aaliyah the Godless. You've got potentially so many soldiers here. So many. I think if you, Jessica Wright, see, even Jessica Wright's raising her hand. She's like, me. Godless heathen. You haven't denounced Jesus yet. See, godless heathen. We've got, yeah, see, we got so many people waiting for you. Come teach us, Bob. You're a soldier of Christ. We're here. Come on up and ask me, Bob. See, that's the thing. Ministering is not asking me things. You have to minister to me. You have to teach me. How is asking me questions teaching me? You have to teach me. I have my soul. Aren't you concerned about my soul? Yeah, Aaliyah, you're saying it right. Win my soul for Christ. You're a soldier. Fight for my soul. So how is asking me, how did everything get here, going to minister to me? How is that going to make me a disciple? So come on up. You've been invited twice. So we're here. Maybe they're here to just learn. Well, then if that's the case, Miss Tangle, then maybe they should just be quiet and just learn, you know? You learn in silence. So that's how that works. You can't learn if you're talking. The best thing Christianity taught me was to abandon it. Woo! Woo. Well, see, bow-legged guy, maybe Bob could teach you something better. Because Bob is supposed to teach us how to, yeah, truth never lies. That's another one. But see, that's the thing. Truth Never Lies said they're not a Christian, but then would not say the words, I denounce Jesus Christ as my savior. Wouldn't say it. Wouldn't type it. You also learn by questioning. Well, Jack O'Rail, not those kind of questions. So what, and he's supposed to teach me. No one muted you, Truth Never Lies. Do you need another invite, sir? Or are you having trouble finding your way up to the guest spot? Truth Never Lies. Do you need another invite? Because we've been inviting you. Both of you and Bob. I'll talk to both of you at the same time. All right. Well, we got somebody else up here. So Nice Weather CA. Nice Weather is up here. How's it going, Nice Weather? How's it going, Nice Weather?
Good. So do you believe that there is goodness?
Yes.
Do you believe that comes from a God?
No. So what's your evidence that it comes from a God? Yeah, it's possible that it comes from a God.
Okay.
Yeah, a God.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, which God are you talking
You're
about?
not going to find proof. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a Christian.
Okay. Well, you understand that you know what 1 Peter 3 verse 15 says, right? As a Christian.
I don't have it memorized.
Here, I'll put it up on the screen for you.
That would be lovely.
Yeah. So it says here, but in your heart sanctify Christ as Lord. Always be ready to make your defense to anyone who demands from you an accounting for the hope that is in you. So is that true?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
In some cases, I wouldn't tell everybody.
Well, yeah, you just wouldn't walk around and do it. But I'm demanding from you an accounting for the hope that's in you. So are you ready?
Right. Yeah, I'll try my best.
All right. Well, that's fair. That's fair. That's all you can do, right? You can just try.
Right.
That's fair. All right. And then Matthew 28, verses 19 through 20. Do you know that one as well? Or do I need to?
No, can you tell? Yeah. It would be lovely if you could tell me.
You got it. All right. Let's pull it up for you. I appreciate your approach because we've got people in the chat who aren't taking your approach, and it's not really working very, very well. You know, I think
I'm not that much different than you.
Well, I think your approach would actually go a lot further in possibly making me a disciple.
I'm skeptical.
Right, you're skeptical?
I glued myself to Jesus, but I'm still skeptical. Like, I might go to church and think it's all bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I hear that. But it also does say in the Bible that you only need faith the size of a mustard seed, right? And would you say yours is equivalent or bigger than the mustard seed?
Well, I kind of think God is a mix of good and evil. So, you know, I may not even be a Christian. I just kind of like go through the motions. You might say that. You know, okay. I might just be calling myself a Christian and I'm a hypocrite. How about that?
Maybe. I don't know. Is that true or like?
Well, the thing is that when you go to church, there's not an interrogation process where you have to like confess your allegiance every time you enter the holy doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll just take anybody. You can just walk right in, right?
Yeah, and you know what? You don't even have to pay your tithes. You can get a free show.
Yeah, right. Now, is it for entertainment
Imagine that.
Go there, or you
try
have
that,
something
try
to
that
do? Or?
Yeah, it is entertaining sometimes. Sometimes I smoke a joint and go to church.
Okay, well that's good.
And that must be a big sin, right?
Yeah, hey man. I guess I don't know. I mean,
call me a hypocrite. I'm ready for it.
No,
I'm braced. I'm
not gonna call you a hypocrite. I mean, who am I? Who am I to call you that?
I want atheist people to hate me because that's what you're supposed to do. That's the way God designed it. He's got a basket of eggs. Some of us are atheists. Some of us are Christian. Blah blah blah. Down the line.
Yeah, I don't hate anybody. I have a heart. I mean,
no, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not your favorite person. I'm not the first person on your birthday list.
I mean, you potentially could be.
And
it wouldn't just be because you're Christian.
I doubt it.
I mean, it would just be. I would
sure
have to
you're
get to know
drinking,
you
buddy.
as a person. I'd have to get. Well, I don't drink, but I have to get to know you as a person. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
that's
but
really what it
I might slip.
on,
I might slip and say go to church. I might slip and say believe in Jesus.
If you're a good enough friend, it wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter to me. Now,
no, but a good friend doesn't proselytize.
Well, I would put it like this because we saw 1 Peter 3 verse 15, right? Yeah, I would agree. Like if you're just exhaustively saying, "Hey, trust," how come you're not going to church and you're just trying to do that to me all the time? Yeah, that'd probably get annoying. But if I'm asking you, "Hey, why do you believe in this?" It does say you should be ready to tell me, right? I think he might have hit a bad signal area. I'm inviting. I see 3 Pips. You might have just been tapping, but hey, 3 Pips, how you doing?
Hey there. Yeah,
I'm a little bit tied up right now, but yeah, I want you to talk to this guy, okay?
Talk to this guy? Okay. Hey, thanks for coming up, Nice Weather. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yep. How's it going, friend?
It's going well. Like I said, I was just moving my phone around while cleaning the kitchen and listening to the show.
All good, all good. Yeah, you know what's funny? The other day, you accidentally requested up, and we got good, like, taking care of your kid and all that stuff. So it was nice.
Yeah, I also accidentally did on another live this morning too.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
while I was dropping my diabetes medication on the ground.
3 Pips is tapping the screen and taking care of his kids and taking his medication. That's what we love about you. So all good, my friend. All good.
I need to disable my audio permission and camera permission again, so I stopped doing that.
That's okay. It's, you know what? It's actually, it's kind of nice because I get to talk to you for a minute. I don't get that much of an opportunity to. So I actually enjoy it. So I don't mind at all. Okay, well, I'll send you back down since you didn't mean to. I won't keep you up here any longer. Okay, see ya. Oh, man. So, yeah. 3 Pips. We love 3 Pips. We love 3 Pips. But, yeah, truth never lies. Come on up. We've got all of these people who are waiting to be disciples. We want to be ministered to discipled. I see Lobes the Absurdist in here, so I just automatically invited Lobes up. But it looks like Lobes is working or something, so it's okay. But yeah, I mean, we're here to be ministered to. Pip, pip, hooray, exactly. Okay. We got round 2. So wouldn't you agree, Aaliyah? I mean...
Yes. Like, I'm going to minister in reverse because...
Reverse minister.
I have... Reverse. Yeah. Can I tell a story? Can I tell you a story?
Yeah. Tell my story.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, not your story. I'm going to tell a story to you.
A story. Okay. Yes. Tell me a story. Gotcha.
Okay. It's really quick.
I'm tracking.
So this is my equation for God. I'm going to tell you a true story. My dad lives 2 states away from me. It would be like a 17-hour drive or something. Okay. And yeah, terrible, right? So one day he asked me to come up and visit him. And I was like, okay, can you pay for the flight? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, then I guess I have to drive. Can you pay for my gas? He's like, no. But also, like, go to this one particular restaurant that is no longer in my area and get me this food and bring that to me. And also, I have a musical instrument that I shipped to that area that I need you to pick up for me because I was having it repaired. So that's my view of my relationship with my father. And then I realized one day That's the exact same thing that God does.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be our heavenly father, right? He
Yeah.
asks all these things of you. He asks you to do all of these things. And for what? You don't even know what you're getting at the end. And he's not doing anything for you in return.
Exactly. And I would even go so far as to say, well, at least you're talking to your dad.
Oh, not anymore.
Oh, not anymore. Well,
I cut off. See, I cut off both at the same time because I realized they were the same thing.
They were the same person. Got
Yes.
it. Okay, I'm tracking now. I'm tracking.
Yeah.
Same person.
Yeah, but like
Makes
Heavenly Father
100%
does all
sense.
asks you to do all these things, and like,
Wow.
but does absolutely nothing for you and asks things of you in return. So it's not even a neutral exchange.
It's totally
So
powerful.
with God, like, you have to pray, you have to tithe money, like you have to spend your time at church. Like there's all this like investment that you're doing on your end, and you're not getting anything back.
Oh, and you got to go pull other people in. You got to go pull for them. You got to be God's wingman, right? That's like That's like being at the club and you're like, oh yeah, you got to go pull for me, you know? It's like God's not even there.
Right. It's just like that. It's like I got to be your wingman too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done nothing to contribute to this exchange.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's my story. That's
that
that's
makes
how I
total
equate
sense.
God. They're the same.
You know
God's
what
a deadbeat. He's a deadbeat
Yes.
dad.
You know what it actually kind of reminds me of is I don't know if you ever watched like the old Dave Chappelle skits, but he had a skit in which he got Oprah pregnant.
Oh yeah.
You remember that one? And, and he was like living with Oprah.
Yeah. It's basically the same thing.
It's kind of that, yeah. Okay.
Oh, and then you've got someone in the chat. Paziola is saying that atheists stay losing debate, so he might want to debate you or something. I don't know.
Oh, well, see, that's the thing. We're not here. We're here to be converted, Pasiola. We're not here to be debating. We're here to be, convince me.
Just convince me that God is not a deadbeat dad.
Yes.
Because I also didn't mention, like, I didn't have a good relationship with my dad growing up either. It was just like my relationship with God, right? There was no response.
Right. No response. Exactly. Exactly. And
So
you're like,
convince
what's the
Christians,
difference?
convince me.
Yes.
Yeah. Is God not a deadbeat dad?
There's 71 of us here that you could just easily convert just like that. And you
Yeah.
know, and see, here's the model. You see how Aaliyah laid it out so easily? It's just like that. That's all you got to do. You just got to do it just like
That's
take
it.
that model. Yeah, she gave you the model. She told you exactly. She just laid it out. That's the template. It's like, I have a story for you, and it was compelling. It was entertaining. It made sense.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Yeah.
It's just like a sermon, if you've heard of that before.
Yes, it's like a sermon. Yes, exactly. It is just like a sermon. So we're here to be sermonized. We're here to be converted, discipled. We're lost sheep. 70 lost sheep here that you could just rope back into the flock. Right? Lobes, another lost sheep. Look at Lobes, just waiting to be converted. It's so easy.
Begging.
Yeah. And see, Lobes with those rosy cheeks is just waiting. He's just like, yeah,
Are my
convince me.
cheeks that rosy?
They're pretty rosy.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like, they're like a healthy pink hue. Yeah. Yeah. Like, Aaliyah, have you
They don't
seen
get pinched like they used
Lobes'
to.
cheeks? Like, they're just so like pinchable and pink. Like
You're thinking of my son. That's the one. So I would have like.
Am I thinking of your son?
He's the one with the pink chip. Yeah.
Yeah.
With those
well,
cheeks.
They were inherited, my friend. They were inherited. Yep. Tama Friar Knight. Another one waiting. We got so many waiting here. So many waiting. Like, we're just waiting to be convinced, waiting to be discipled to, waiting for the hope that's within you. We're making that demand. We're just waiting for that accounting that's the hope within you. So, just saying. We are here. We're like just waiting so patiently. But my time is almost coming to an end, so the window is dwindling for today. So I can probably take one more. So if anyone wants to come up. Okay, Colt 45. Okay, we have somebody. All right. This will be the last one for today. Let's see what Colt has to say. How's it going, Colt?
Good about you, man?
I'm doing well. Now, just verify for TikTok purposes, you're at least 18?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So, and in which religion are you? Christian? Muslim?
I'm Christian.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Well, Colt, we are some lost sheep here. We are here to be
I hear you.
discipled to, you know, you can make disciples
Yeah,
of us
yeah.
right now. There's 73 of us in
Okay.
here. So,
Okay. Well,
okay.
I will let you know at first that I'm not the smartest person in the world. So bear
Hey,
with
we
me.
can understand
But,
you.
The
You
deal
sound
breaker
you
from you.
sound kind. That's
well,
huge.
I
It goes a
appreciate
long
that.
way. All right.
I appreciate that. Can I guess maybe not, but you let me know. Can I share my testimony with you? Kind of give you an idea of where I came from?
Yeah, but if before you do that,
Yeah, I'll
sorry.
keep it brief if you
Well,
want.
before you do that,
Yeah.
do this for me first. Can you
Yes, sir.
show us how your testimony is more true than like the testimony of a Muslim or a Hindu or anyone from any other religion? How does your testimony true and theirs isn't?
Okay. Well, I can tell you for starters that I did not grow up in a Christian household. I did not grow up in a way that could have swayed or swindled me in any kind of form.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I lived most of my life in what Christians would call and I would call as a lustful life.
Okay.
Right. So kind of bouncing around from, I would say, not from the outside perspective, I would be a so-called good kid, but not in the aspect of, you know, I was looking for things in the wrong ways, I guess.
Looking for love in the wrong places? Something like that?
Yes, sir. Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And what I would tell you is that my coming to Christ was through Romans chapter 7.
Okay.
Romans chapter 7 says, what you don't want to do, you do, and what you do want to do, you don't do.
Oh, yeah. I know that verse. Yes.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. And so basically with that, like I said, I lived my life in a lustful manner, and I wanted to come to an end with that, especially for, at the time would have been my girlfriend, now wife. She, you know, I voiced that to her that I watched pornography. I did things that were inappropriate, you know, and she told me that she did not like that. And, you know, what's funny about that is that I expected her to be okay with that. I don't know why. But with that being said, what I guess what I'm getting at is that I wanted to stop, but I wanted to stop before I even met her.
Okay.
But I didn't know how, and I didn't know why. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the names of verses very well, but I can tell you that it is in the Bible that Jesus says to write, the Bible says, God's word says to write scripture on the tablet of our hearts. So we can know that that it is written on the tablet of our hearts. So even if we maybe don't know Christ, that we know that there's a good and evil in this world. There's right things or things that are okay to do, and things that, you know, make us feel really guilty or really bad, right?
Okay.
And to be honest with you, that made me feel really bad. It made me feel really bad to live in a lustful manner, to look at women inappropriately sometimes, stuff like that, because, you know, they're not just some random thing walking across the street. You know, they're women are supposed to be beautiful. They're supposed to be, you know, loved and endeared, you know, not treated inappropriately.
Would you say that that's addiction?
Yes. Yep. I would admit that I was addicted to pornography.
Okay.
I was addicted to that stuff. Yes, I would admit that.
All right. Well, congratulations. Glad you have, sounds like you've turned the corner. How long has it been?
It's been a year. Last January is when I gave my life to Christ. So that's why I gave it to him, is because since that time I've understood where that comes from, that why it's inappropriate and stuff like that. And so I guess that's kind of why I share my testimony, is that's what I believe, that I guess I can minister to you. I know that like you said, you guys feel like you're lost sheep and you want to be ministered to, and that you're hoping for the hope within other Christians, right?
Yeah. And so it sounds like the hope that's within you is that you were in a place where you were struggling with this addiction and you found
Yep.
Christ, and now it's been over a year and you are in
Yep.
a better place. That's what it sounds like. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, when I hear a Hindu telling me the same thing, but instead of
Yep.
Jesus, they say Krishna,
Yeah.
does that make Hinduism true?
You know, I understand why you asked that question. I would say no. And I guess I'm gonna be fully transparent. I'm gonna relate back to the Bible, so you can tell me whether you think that's wrong, or that you won't take that won't suffice for you. But you know, Jesus says he's the way, the truth, and the life, and that nobody else can come to him or go to heaven except through him. Come to the Father except through him.
Okay. And so when other religions say that they are the true path, what do I do with that?
You know, I've been doing some research for those questions, and like, to be honest with you, I have to stem back to contradictions, right? And I'll be honest, I was in your live yesterday. You brought up Judas Iscariot, right?
Yeah.
And you brought up Acts 1, believe it's 20, and how in there it talks about that Judas bought the land, but then in Matthew, I think it was Matthew, right? It talks about that the religious leaders, whatever, that gave him the money, they bought the land.
Right.
Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking about that, a lot of research about that just from yesterday. And so I'm going to give you an example. If I had money myself and I didn't say a word, but I threw it down on the ground and ran away, and you picked up that money, would you say that's your money now, or is that still my money? I just threw it on the ground for some reason.
Well, I would say, accordingly, there's this thing called like possession is 9/10 of the law. And so if you threw your money down and I picked it up, then yeah, I would say that's my money.
Okay. Well, and I can see what you're saying, but to be honest with you, I would disagree there. I would have to say that that's still my money because I never said anything to you. You know, you don't know why I threw it down, and I ran off before you could even question me about it.
Okay.
And so I would say that because those religious leaders gave Judas Iscariot that money, and then for betraying Jesus, and then he ran off after throwing the money down, and they went and bought the land, that would still be his land technically because they used the money that they gave him.
Okay. So now it does say that Judas acquired the land, which means that he had to do something in order to get it. So are you saying because he threw the money down and they bought the money after he died, because it says after he hung himself, right? So are you saying then that he got the land? Because now we're kind of running into problems of, well, the point is that he threw the money down, then he went and hanged himself, and then they bought it for him?
I guess, you know, it's a great question, and I'll be truthful that to me, it doesn't give a timeline, I guess, of when these things, for example, in the book of Acts, it talks about that Judas ran into the field, tripped, and what does it say? Split his head open or something like that. But
fell headlong. And his
there you go.
gushed open. Yeah.
Yep. But then in Matthew, it talks about that he ran out and he went and hanged himself. Yep. So, like I said, it doesn't give a general timeline, I guess, of what things came first, right? Like it says he ran out, but did he run out like I said, or like the guy was talking about yesterday? Did he run out and then he fell over and his bowels spilled out, and then after he did that, he hanged himself? And it doesn't give a timeline, I guess, of I don't know how to word it better. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. Now, because the other thing you got to contend with is they named it the Field of Blood, right? And in Matthew, they named it the Field of Blood because it was blood money. They made it clear that we can't put this back in the treasury because it's blood money. So they used it to pay for the potter's field, and they called it the Field of Blood because they used blood money to buy it. And then in Acts, it says it was called the Field of Blood because Judas fell headlong and his guts burst open. So, which is true?
Let's see. Sorry, I got my Bible with me here, so I'm gonna open it up here and be on the same page as you, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. That spread to all the people. Which means, well, and I'm gonna be honest. I just read it, so I'm going off of what I'm reading here. It says the news of his death spread to all the people of Jerusalem, and they gave the place the Aramaic name Akeldama, which means field of blood.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, when he falls over and his guts, it's still the field of blood. Whether it's, either way, there's no contradiction there, I guess, of either way, whether it's Jesus being betrayed and it's blood money over that, or because of Judas falling over in the field.
So it's two reasons they called it that?
I would believe so. Like I said, I'm just asking you, is there a contradiction in that? Is that a contradiction that there can be two reasons?
I would say yes, because it sounds like what we're saying is we're just presupposing that this is all true, and that there just seem to be two reasons why this is called the Field of Blood, and then and it's the explanation that actually it was the Sanhedrin who bought it for Judas is a bit like far-fetched to me, because you got to remember he threw that down, then he went and hanged himself. So now you got to account for, okay, did he hang himself and survive, or when exactly did he fall and burst his guts open? There's just a lot of problems here. Now I will say we kind of got
I've heard
way past
okay.
Oh, I wanted to kind of pivot back to, because we did like a huge pivot to this.
We did.
How do you minister to us? That's like the original thing, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I'm sorry. No, not that. It was how do we know your testimony is the true one and
the
Hindu one isn't the true one, versus the Muslim testimony isn't the true one, versus the Norse pagan testimony isn't the true one. Like, how do we like, give us a way that, like, me, Aaliyah, and Lobes here, me and my two friends, give us a way that we could investigate. Is it Colt 45's testimony that's true, or is it the Hindu guy that we talked to the other day who testified to us, yes, Krishna saved me from, my problem.
Right.
So how could we figure out which of you had the real, deliverance?
Yep. Okay. Well, I can tell you that I'm going to go back to the Bible. In the Bible, it says that God says that, God says that if you seek with your whole heart, that you shall find him. That if you knock that he stands at the door knocking, waiting, and if you open it, that he will come in and eat with you and you with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to be honest with you, God, for me, God's been knocking at my door my whole life, but I've never had a way to understand that, because nobody's ever taught me that. Like I said, I didn't grow up in a Christian household. My parents never taught me how to recognize God's voice, anything like that. So the day that I read that verse, that what I want to do, I don't do, and what I don't want to do, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally clicked in my brain that I guess where it clicked in my brain is the fact that sin entered the world through Adam and Eve, and that because I am, according to Christianity and according to God, I'm a broken person that needs something more than what I can provide myself, right?
Okay.
And I know I'm kind of running long here. I'm kind of a yapper. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay, because I do have a question for you. If I could jump in.
Go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. So it says in the Bhagavad Gita, that's the Hindu holy book. It says, those miscreants were grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, they do not surrender unto me. So it says that. And it also says, fools deride me when I descend in human form. They do not know my transcendental nature. The demoniac do not know what is to be done, what is not to be done. So this is talking about, like, you know, this is just ignorance. If you don't know who I am, you're ignorant. And what if that was Krishna calling out to you? And then you just happen to pick up this Bible and happen to just read that same passage.
Well, okay, I hear what you're saying. And I would say for myself that, you know, I look at the fact that I had to have been created I mean, obviously my parents gave birth to me, right? My mom gave birth to me. But besides that, I had to have been created, thought about somewhere. There's no way that I'm just, you know, because like excuse me if I'm wrong, but Hindus, they believe in reincarnation, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, one sect does. There's some that don't believe in it. Yeah.
Okay.
But one like it's equivalent to like a denomination. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for me, I could not believe. There's no way I could believe in reincarnation because we can't look at inanimate objects and say that they have a purpose, but they don't have, you know, there's no way, they don't think, they don't move, they're just sitting there, right? But the difference is that, you know, you and I are created. I mean, we're beings that have what I would say a specialness about us, right? Where there's something about us that we can think for our own, we can do things for our own. I mean, me just sitting here talking to you, I'm thinking for my own. You're, you know, we're having a dialogue. There's not a lot of things in the world that can, I mean, you know, do that. There's got to be some kind of creator somewhere.
Sure.
You know,
every religion believes that. Yeah, like even Hinduism believes that you know, the gods created our existence, and you know, Islam says that Allah in just 4 days created the heavens and the earth, and you know, and produced stars like lamps. So
4 days is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
See, but I got to be honest. Islam also says that in the Quran says that it says their book is a what does it say? Something like it's a wording of or a knowledgeable understanding of all things, a detailed explanation of all things. Excuse me, that's what it says. But then another part of it says that some things are ambiguous and some things are easily known. So I guess to me, how can the book say that some things are easily known and some things are ambiguous, but then also say that the same book is also a knowledgeable explanation?
I'm with you.
All things.
With you. Yeah, we're with
you.
So
to me,
otherwise we'd
we
all be Muslims. Yeah, so I'm with you.
Right.
All three of us are with you.
Honestly, I have to rule out Islam there. And I understand that, you know, we just went through, like I said, the Judas Iscariot deal, and I don't, you know, like I said, I'm not the smartest person ever. I don't have a great explanation for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess the hope within me that I have to tell you about is that Jesus encountered me last January in a way that I could have never expected in my life. And so, you know, like you said, it could come from Hinduism, but I don't believe it did because the way the Bible talks about, you know, and I believe that, you know, Jesus is our savior, that there's nothing we can do to earn it or deserve it. But he, you know, the way it talks about all the commandments and stuff, nothing in there, I guess, for me, contradicts itself in the fact or calls you to, you know, again, Islam talks about beating your wife. I think it's chapter 434 talks about beating your wife if she comes against you. You know, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I would venture to guess that you and I will both agree that that's inappropriate and that's very wrong.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, one last point, and then I gotta go. But
go ahead.
Now, would you say then, Colt, if the Bible said, like I have a daughter, right? I have a daughter.
Yep.
If the Bible said that if the Bible allowed me to sell my daughter as a slave, would that be morally good?
No, I know what verse you're talking about. I believe I can't remember the name of the verse, but it's in the beginning of the Bible.
Exodus 21:7.
Talking about,
Yeah.
yep, there you go. I know what you're talking about. I guess I can give you what my understanding of that verse.
Okay.
When I read that, so for example, God does not want you to, sleep with multiple women. It says, do not covet your neighbor's wife. So, you have, I'm married to one woman and I want that for the rest of my life. I love her. But what I would say is that with the daughter at that time, if you, like it says in there that if you slept with the daughter and then you would have to pay 50 shekels and then stay married to her forever. So I guess for me, what I understand that is that because you have to stay married to her forever, that means that you cannot go sleeping around with other people, right? So you have, I mean, I'm not saying that rape is okay.
Let's make sure we're talking about the same verse. It's right above my head if you want to take a look.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do.
Okay. Sorry. There's another one that I was totally thinking of.
Oh, yeah. There's several about selling and buying of slaves. You're right. Absolutely. But I'm talking about this one. So when a man sells his daughter as a slave, because isn't that God giving dads like me permission to sell their daughters as slaves?
Let's see. I'm going to go to the verse because I love to read in context here. So
that's awesome.
But the slave may declare, let's see. So you're at 21:7. When a man sells, she does not. If his master gave him a wife while he was a slave and they had sons or daughters, then only the man will be free in the 7th year, but his wife and children will belong to the man. The slave may declare, I love my master, my wife, and my children. I don't want to go free. If he does this,
that's a good one too.
Then his master must take him to the door or doorpost and publicly pierce his ear with an awl. After that, the slave will serve his master for life. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she will not be freed at the end of 6 years as the men are. If she does not satisfy her owner, he must allow her to be brought back. Okay.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
With this verse in mind, 21:7 in mind, what would be a good reason for me to sell my daughter?
I can't give you a good reason that you would sell your daughter.
Okay. So why would God have a law like this in Exodus? If we can't think, because I can't think of a good reason either. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't think of a good reason. So if that's the case, why would God have a law like that when a man sells his daughter as a slave? Not don't sell your daughter as a slave. Not if you do, you're gonna get, your penis will fall off. It is when a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. It's like he's condoning this.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. If she does not.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't have a good answer. Yeah,
that's fair. That's an honest answer. I appreciate honesty. How about you? Think on it and come back? You want to do that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you'll allow me to come back, I see you're live all the time, so I do some research and come back.
Okay, we'll remember you, Colt. Everybody remember Colt Colt 45, Colt 4T5. Yeah, everybody remember. So then when Colt comes back, we can pick up where we left off. And you know what? I'll do this one thing for you. I don't do this for many people, but no matter what topic we're on, we'll come back to Exodus 21:7. All right? How's that sound?
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Thank
you got it. You got it, Colt. Well, hey, enjoy the rest of your day, Colt. All right?
You too. God bless you, brother.
Take care. Yeah. All right. So, Billy D. Williams. Oh, man, that's aging me too, because I remember those commercials. Old 45 commercials with Billy D. Williams. Oh, my goodness. That is hilarious. All right. That's all the time I got. So that was fun. Lobes, Aaliyah Godless, you guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have some mods that I'm gonna pull up here. So let's bring them up if I can find them all. You know, this is amazing that I was like, I got so many people here and I had like 3 guests today. Well, 3 opposition guests, but I had thank you, KJ. And I had 3 opposition guests. And oh, dang it. Wait a minute, Ham, are you still here? I think we have a little bit of time. We have like just a tiny bit of time. Because Hammy was here and I didn't see him. Is he still here? Let's see if he comes in. Is he? I'm just like friends who come up, I'm just like accepting them en masse. There he is. Okay. Do we have time for a reading? We have like a tiny bit of time.
Do we have time?
Do we not have time for a reading? That's the real question.
Oh, yeah, that is the real question. Do we not have time?
Do we not have time for a reading? So, okay. All right.
Well, boys and girls, I don't have anything prepared. So,
oh wait, there it is. There it is. Okay.
Alrighty. So, boys and girls, I do not have anything prepared. I kind of came into the live at the last second. But I do have a wonderful thing called the internet that if there's something in particular that anybody wants me to read, I could read.
Hail Hammy's internet.
Hail Hammy's internet. But yes, if there's anything that y'all could think of hell, it could be religious related, it could be not religious related. I will read it in. If you want me to, I can read it in this voice.
Oh,
or I can just read it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to suggest how you read it in that voice, and I'm going to ask for Dr. Seuss today.
Dr. Seuss. Okay, what specific line in Dr. Seuss?
Good one. How about? Oh, how about the Flustards? How about that one?
The Flustards. All right, let's look there.
Now it's pronounced. It's spelled like the Flustards, but we're not going to say that. So we say it the Flustards. Yeah. and yeah, just one stanza. You don't have to do the whole thing. Just one stanza.
The Lost Poem. Here we are.
We'll do that one next time, Tiny. Okay, we'll put that one in the queue for next time.
Now, are you talking, you want the voice of, like, the, welcome to the world of tomorrow type of
absolutely.
Voice? Okay. Of all the animals I have ever met, the Flustards, I think, are the silliest yet. Poor Flustards. They spend every hour, every day, in front of their house in a most stupid way. Just standing. They're waiting, they say. And do you want me to just read that in very next part, or just that was it?
Oh yeah,
because that's the stanza.
Yeah, that's a stanza. We'll just keep it right there because I'm running out of time. So thank you, Hammy.
All right.
I even got the exit music. There we go. And Hammy has done his duty as decreed by the chat, who has voted us in by referendum. He has followed the law. Thank you,
because
Hammy.
After all, you cannot say that Hammy is not a law-abiding citizen.
And Hammy certainly is. And thank you. And if you have any gifts for Hammy, this is the time to do it. Absolutely. And we have Forever Atheist, one of our esteemed mods. Gifts. And Jessica, just for being Jessica. How about that?
That's from being me.
Yeah, that's a good reason to give Jessica any gifts, if you have any.
Hey.
Just because Jessica is Jessica. And Lobes, because Lobes has rosy cheeks. So. So we got all kinds of good reasons, but especially to you, chat, give yourselves a pat on the back. You guys did an awesome job today. It was a bit of a different live, but it was still fun. It was still good. We had some pretty good discussions. A lot of people deconstructed came up today. So that was kind of nice. So Friday, I'm going to do a deconstruction live. That's what it's going to be all about. We're going to talk nothing but deconstruction. But tomorrow, I haven't thought about what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but we'll figure it out. And Blaster Master 80, thank you for all you do. And I think Pseudo V Science was in there for a minute. And the Real Cephalogod, you know what? You asked me a while ago, what is the best argument for God I've heard? Still not good with this one. Something related to fine tuning, like the constants. Probably the best one, but still not very good. So I'd say that'd be that. But anyway, you guys are amazing. So let's find someone to raid. So we'll give a little love to somebody, unless somebody has a suggestion while I'm looking. But not, we'll just find somebody.
Are all things
Oops.
I'm giving people gifts.
Oops. Sorry. That was me going into my feed by accident. Let's see. Dugald? Is Dugald a good one? The Resurrected Skeptic? Is he a good one too? Yeah, he's a good one too. How about the Resurrected?
And I'm giving people gifts.
You're giving people gifts? Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Okay, I won't do it too fast, but let's do the Resurrected Skeptic. He's a very solid content creator. And how about this? Well, because I don't think Resurrected Skeptic is on YouTube. Oh, you know what? I think I want to keep this uniform today. All right, we'll do Joel. How about that? We'll do Joel Reads Bible. We'll raid Joel Reads Bible today because I kind of want to keep this like uniform. Like everybody from YouTube go to the same one that everybody from TikTok go to the same one. So we'll do Resurrected Skeptic another day. Joel Reads Bible. That's the one we're going to do. And the room IQ just jumped 50 points. Oh, goodness. So I don't know why, but I'm going to go back through the chat archive to see why. Joel Reads Bible. That's where we're going to go. So let's raid Joel Reads Bible. We will, you guys know what to do. TBV raid. So everybody.
Can I answer just a quick question?
Yes.
Have you ever done a problem that says like, what's your best evidence that the resurrection actually happened?
No,
just
I
out of
haven't.
curiosity.
Maybe
No?
I'll.
Okay.
I think I might do that tomorrow. How's that sound?
Hey, that would be lit.
We have our topic. There we go. Thank Jessica for that. Jessica, you
Yeah.
were amazing. Okay, that the
Okay,
resurrection
period.
happened. That's a great one. Okay. All right. So we'll see you all at Joel Reads Bible. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, guys. Have a great night. Thank you again. Take care.
Everyone, go
All
out.
right.
And have,
Bye.
everyone, go out and have a good night.